Hey Juan, do you have a profile?
Please stand by for departure.
Different time zone, different rules, same code. Let's go. Landed in Manila with the calm in my chest. Old life behind me, still I move with respect. I don't talk too much, I just watch how they move. Every street got a lesson, every night got a groove. Came from the ground where the pressure don't sleep. Now I'm overseas where the palm trees breathe. But don't mistake peace for a man gone soft. I still read every room when the lights cut off. Passport worn out, phone full of plans. Currency changed, but I'm still the same man. Seen fake love, fake smiles, fake handshakes too. So I keep my circle tight and my vision brand new. City lights flashing off the window glass. Thinking how fast the hard season can pass. I ain't here to prove nothing, I'm here to build more. New chapter, new country, same lion at the door. Manila after midnight, I'm still wide awake. Counting every move, every risk that I take. New city, same mission, I don't fold, I don't fake. Had to lose a few chains just to see what I can make. Manila after midnight, black car through the rain. No scars in my mind, new fire in my veins. I don't run from the storm, I just walk through the pain. And I turn another page and I level up again. They thought travel was escape, but it gave me my lens. Show me who was real, show me who was pretend. Some men chase women, some chase cheap thrills. I chase peace, leverage and the freedom to build. You can hear it in my voice, I've been through real weight. Had to learn time, had to learn restraint. Every loss had a message, every win had a tax. Every blessing came with pressure trying to sit on my back. Jeepneys roll past, street food, smoke rise, foreign land, but the hunger's still familiar in my eyes. I see brothers online talking big from the couch, but never left the block, never figure life out. I don't judge, I just move with a different kind of hunger. Older now, sharpen out, thunder, under thunder. If you see me by the water with a calm little grin, that's a man who survived what should've buried him. Manila after midnight, I'm still wide awake. Counting every move, every risk that I take. New city, same mission, I don't fold, I don't fake. Had to lose a few chains just to see what I can make. Manila after midnight, black car through the rain. No scars in my mind, new fire in my veins. I don't run from the storm, I just walk through the pain. And I turn another page and I level up again. It's for the men who got tired of the script, tired of the bills, tired of biting their lip, tired of being told what a man can't be. So they book that flight just to breathe and think free. But freedom ain't free, better come with a plan. Foreign ground still test the mind of a man. Learn the laws, learn the culture, don't move like a fool. Respect goes further than flexing with jewels. I seen paradox turn into pressure real fast when the man brings old habits in the new grass. So I walk with intention, not just impulse and pride. You could change your location and still be trapped inside. That's why I build while the city sleeps low. Make one smart move, then I make 10 more. From Manila to wherever the next road bends. I don't chase the world, I make the world make sense. Manila after midnight, I'm still wide awake. Counting every move, every risk that I take. New city, same mission, I don't fold, I don't fake. Had to lose a few chains just to see what I can make. Manila after midnight, black car through the rain. No scars in my mind, new fire in my veins. I don't run from the storm, I just walk through the pain. And I turn another page and I level up again. Different country, same discipline. Different skyline, same vision. Manila after midnight, still building, still moving, still free.
The time, and then you ain't gonna show back up. When your wife get home,
You asked me about my picture, right?
I might sit down.
All right.
Sorry about that. I'm playing music and playing messages. Welcome to another live. This is an impromptu 250th 4th of July weekend open panel. Literally, we're going straight to an open panel. So we're on an open topic. You can talk about anything you want to talk about, whether you feel like America is free for us as Black men, whether you feel like everything's going well. I think personally, there's a lot of people that are plotting for the American demise. At 250 years, as advanced as we are, some older nations out there don't really like Americans for multiple reasons, one of which we are now the leaders globally on damn near everything. You don't think some of those old, you know how they say the good old boy network, but they got good old boy countries. You don't think some of them got some problems with us being Americans? and how successful we are, how we're projected globally to other cultures, so much that everybody's fighting to come here to America. How many people are fighting to go other places? We got our small little few. We got passport bros. We got expats. And all we're doing is really geo arbitraging, right? We're leaving, making our American dollars, and we're going to other countries to live and exploit the benefits of the American currency. Necessarily doesn't mean we don't like America. Doesn't mean we don't like American dollars. We just want to live a little bit better, maybe a little bit healthier, and a hell of a lot longer in some places. So they say.
I tell you what, some of us can use it. I can't wait to partake.
Right. So, by the way, if you don't know, Black Man Travels, obviously Travel Unfiltered and all the other names that he wants to go by, but his moniker is Black Man Travels. Kanal, we know him as part of the third of the Lion's Den, as well as his own hosting channel. And then I have my nephew up here. You can just call him Juan. But yeah, so these brothers are well versed in history, and I'm telling you, I learned things from my nephew all the time. He's just teaching me the meaning of Creole and other cultures and what it really means by the Portuguese. So I'm sitting here getting educated left and right, and hey, I might be old, but I'm willing to learn. You get me? I'm sitting here playing around with AI. That intro from the video, that's all AI done by a 58-year-old. You know what I'm saying? So I try to keep up with y'all. Young bucks, and young, pantherettes or whatever you want to call them. So anyway, guys, we're going to go ahead and open up the panel. Like I said, you guys are able to bring up whatever you wanted. I just want to do a brief introduction. That's done and said. Let's get with the conversations and what you guys want to breach as far as the.
Let's start off with the Creole. I mean, I like to learn more about that because I speak Creole, and so from the island of Haiti, there's several countries in the Caribbean that also speak Creole as well as in South America, as well as in Africa. So I am curious to know your perspective on it.
Yeah, well, the actual word Creole, it just means native. You're native to that land. That's actually a Portuguese word. It was even given to the Haitians by the Portuguese.
Okay.
Yeah, so, but the funny thing about the word Creole, it's real sensitive, especially in some places like Louisiana. Like if you go in certain parts of Louisiana, especially southern parts. I'm from the north of Louisiana. I didn't know it was that bad until I moved to the south. I lived in the south for about 13 years. I lived in Lafayette, and it was sensitive there. Don't you know that in South Louisiana, they don't even know that Haitians speak French?
You know what, Juan? I have an interesting story to tell about that, about folks from Louisiana. And I wasn't sure exactly what part of Louisiana, but a woman made a very disrespectful comment towards me, and I had to check.
Oh yeah, they can be some real. They not real. They can be some heavy. They can be aggressive people down that way, but they if you get they kind of like Haitians. If you get in good, you get in good with them.
Yeah. No, but the thing is, I think it was more out of ignorance. So
yes, ignorance. Right.
She said, well, she claimed to be Creole, and I said, yeah, I'm Creole too. And she looked at me like, you too black to be Creole.
Okay, yeah, right. I knew you was going there.
I was like, what? Like, I was like, my skin color, because I think she took Creole as light skin, bright color eyes, curly hair, whatever. And I told her like, no, I'm from Haiti, and we speak, breathe, eat Creole. Like I started speaking Creole to her, and she didn't know what the fuck what I told her. I'm like, hey, you say you Creole, right? So you should be able to speak French, and I just spoke some French to you. And she's like, no. But the thing is, like, the way she saw it was like she positioned Creole as a skin color, like a phenotype.
Yes.
And the fact that I didn't fit that phenotype, I'm like, well, all right, let me school you a little bit with this whole Creole in regards to how Haiti influenced Louisiana, particularly New Orleans. So I kind of went in and just told her about it. But yeah, that was an interesting experience. That happened like 30 years ago.
Well, the word Well, when they look at Creole as like you just said, like they look at it as like an ethnic group. They don't even look at them like normal black people. If you say that you Creole and you're not from Louisiana, you're not light skinned, green eyes, straight hair, they say that you're not Creole. But actually Creole, the way that they look at it is it's just them. Actually, Creoles are anybody who lived alongside the Mississippi River all the way up to St. Louis.
Okay.
All the way up. It's just they more in tune with they just French descended people, and it all depends on where you come from to say you Creole. So you got Cajun and you got Creole. Cajuns come from Canada. Those are
Canadians.
they Canadians that was exiled out of France because they wouldn't bow to the British power. So they went to Ontario and Nova Scotia.
Right. And I was just telling Juan that my heritage and my the French part of my family is from Arcadia. And there's a lot of my family up in Canada, that direction. So they came across that way.
Yeah. See, that was the original name of Louisiana before Louisiana. It was just called Acadia. When they had something to do with the whole Louisiana Purchase, they coming from the north, and that's when they called Canada New France, until actually France showed up and ran them. They ran them west. That's why they actually still speak French, West Canada. I actually just ran into a woman. They speak a Creole.
Yeah, Cape Verdeans also speak Creole. Exactly.
But hold on.
What's up?
I was gonna. I mean, they don't speak Creole. They speak Portuguese.
Hey, Bacchus, this is an open panel, brother. You can hit the link. Did you drop the link in your chat?
I don't have the link.
Oh,
it's in the general chat. You should be able to pull it and copy and paste it, or copy the URL that's in the top of your screen there, and drop it in your chat.
Oh, okay, cool. All right, I just learned something.
But go ahead. Sorry, Juan.
Yeah, so I mean, like for us, again, the way American view Creole was based on phenotype, skin color. Creole back in Martinique, Dominique, Haiti is a way of life. It's culture, food, people. We're African mixed with French, mixed with with native.
Spanish, everything.
Yeah, Spanish, everything. So it's like a gumbo. It's like, it's funny. The same food that people in New Orleans eat, we eat the same exact food. Like you guys make gumbo, we call it bouillon. It's the same, like the same dish you guys eat in New Orleans is the same food we eat in Haiti, the same exact way.
Right, and I was just talking to Juan about the gullah and how they're associating. They tried to do the gullah is related to the Creole of Louisiana, and it's two different cultures, but they're similar. They're parallel, but they're not the same.
Yeah, and that's why it's like it's funny how we try to like create all these divisions amongst black people, but we're pretty much the same people. Just drop off in a different location.
That's it. They speak Creole almost all over the world. I'm a part of Brazil, that country next to French Guiana or whatever.
Yeah,
some parts of Jamaica,
Suriname.
Yeah, Rwanda, Cameroon. He was talking about like the Cape Verdeans. The Cape Verdeans speak a Creole-based Portuguese. The word Creole don't actually mean nothing with French. It just mean you from
local.
there. So you speak a Portuguese-based. They speak an African-based Portuguese, so that means it's a Creole, right? So it's just anything just mean you kind of native to that land. That's all.
Well, one thing is I learned a lot about New Orleans because I used to work for the Essence Music Festival. I used to do events there, and every year I used to go down to New Orleans and do the Essence Music Festival, and I learned a lot about New Orleans. And I learned that the French Quarter was inspired by Cape Haitian. The architecture that actually built out Cape Haitian, based on the building structure, he went to New Orleans and actually brought the same design.
Well, can I raise my hand on that one?
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead, bro.
They may
I
have.
brought you up here to educate, bro. Believe me.
Well, they may have did the architecture, but the Italians are the people who built the French Quarters.
Yeah. I know. I'm not saying. Wait, hold up. Clarification. I never said they built it. I said they helped inspire the design of it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, because like if you go through the is it the French Quarter? There's a section looks just like it in Haiti. Area called Okap, Cape Haitian. That's the northern part. That's where the first king of Haiti actually resided. And if you look at, and I did one of the tours there in New Orleans, and the one of the historians was referencing Cape Haitian. I'm like, well, my mother and father's from there. Yeah. And it's like, it's like the architecture that actually designed the Cape Haitian buildings came down to New Orleans, and they helped inspire it. But I didn't say no building. Of course, whoever lived there actually built it, but as far as the architecture design of it was inspired by that.
Yeah, you absolutely right. 100%.
And like I said, the food, the rice and beans, the way you guys cook the fish, everything, same way we do it. Same exact way. The gumbo, same thing. My mom does it. We just call it bouillon, but in New Orleans, it's called gumbo.
The funny thing about the gumbo, you actually know what makes gumbo gumbo? It's the okra plant.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was called gumbo before they brought it over from Africa. I don't know why they call it okra now, but
we put okra we use okra as well. And I don't like okra. I hate okra. And my family eats a lot of okra. They fry it, stew it, bake it. Whatever they do with it. I don't like the
slime part of the okra. If
no,
you
me either.
Get out of the slime, I'm good with the okra. I'm good with it. I like it, but the slimy part is that. But anyway, I want to welcome the other two brothers on the panel, Bacchus Fleury, and also my brother, Financial Frontier. Happy 250th anniversary of the United States independence. How you brothers doing?
I'm keeping $250 in my pocket by not going out and wasting it. That's how I'm doing.
I heard that.
I got better plans for that. That's a round trip ticket to Columbia.
Hey, it's not wrong with being economically sound and aware. What you mean?
I mean, I got to spend that off. I'm be tricking off on that. But anyway, I'm just planning. I'm just up late because I'm just planning my next little adventure. So
yeah, brother, I've been seeing your photo shoots, man. You definitely got willing participants all the time, everywhere you go.
I don't know, bro. It ain't easy, dog. It's a lot of no's just to get one yes.
Right.
So, try to make it do what it do. I got lined up for this year. I'm working on. So burning the midnight oil. Y'all talking about gumbo now? I'm hungry. So that ain't helping.
Just get you some okra, man.
I like okra. I ain't gonna lie. I always used to like my greens growing up as a kid. I know you can't tell by looking at me, but I used to like my vegetables. So it was good. So,
hey, buffalo grow big too. What you mean? Don't
all they eat is grass.
Just because we eat green, yeah. Stop it. Go ahead, Financial Frontier, which is financial freedom. Come on, bro.
Freedom of the frontier.
You can make it financial freedom right now. Heck yeah. You know what I'm saying? America, one of the greatest countries on earth. I love it. As a black man, it means everything to me, man. It's the only place that I've actually have heritage in. It's my country. I claim it. And, my roots are based in there. And, at least my recollection of how I remember history is our people came from nothing and built something for themselves. So it's a great history, one to be proud of. I love it. We were one of the greatest empires. It's where a black man could do one of the greatest things he could do in the world if he puts his mind to it. And so at the end of the day, nothing's stopping you. I love it. And the Independence Day just represents the freedom of myself at the end of the day. What I've been able to achieve, what I've been able to get for myself, earn, and take. And so at the end of the day, that's what it means to me. Shout outs to the country. Shout outs to left and right. Shout outs to all political parties, all people. You know what I'm saying? It's the USA.
Right.
That's how we do it. So I love it.
Race
It's a
in
day
it.
of celebration.
That's the biggest thing you can say about Americans. It don't matter if we fighting like cats and dogs. And I noticed this, and our military brothers will tell you this, and most of y'all even play sports. Who give a fuck if y'all liked each other? If you were on a team, y'all battle together. Y'all can have your dislikes in the back after the fight is over. But anybody come up against America, don't think we that divided that we won't come together. That is one thing about our nation that we have learned to do. Put our differences aside when it really fucking matters, and we get done what needs to be done.
And
You know
I
what I'm saying?
often tell people, like in the military, they might see me rocking the MAGA, they might see me rocking Make America Great Again, but I rocked Obama. Like at the end of the day, I was a veteran. I served regardless of who was on the wall. I didn't decide to withdraw my patriotism because I didn't agree with who the American people voted for. That wouldn't be American to me. So I never actually have disagreements with nobody because their opinion is their opinion and they're right. And so at the end of the day, it doesn't bother me no mind. I'm going to do what I got to do when it comes down to every day and how I live this life. So I think it's great. I remember my friend asked me, he's like, "You're black. How do you be so patriotic?" I'm like, "Bro, this is my empire, bro. I don't know what you're talking about, but shout outs to you. I wish you the best."
Right? Hey, this is open forum. There ain't no format. Y'all just keep it rolling. Whatever you want to bring up, whatever you want to talk about.
I ain't been online in forever. I did something yesterday with no excuse, just randomly, and not randomly this. So I don't know. I'm kind of out of the loop. I kind of been out of the game for a minute.
Hey, don't worry, man. I've been gone for a while. So like yesterday was really my first time being back in swing of things.
So-
Actually, last week was like my first time back.
So let me ask you guys this. I know we've been in the news for doing a lot of wrong things, being controlled by the little hats, and we're the American police. We feel like we need to enforce and push ourselves into situations that don't belong to Americans as far as our reason or being. Do you feel globally there are a lot of older nations that have some envy toward the success of the American country itself and its people because they've been doing it longer, quote unquote, so they should be better?
Wait, can you rephrase that a little bit? I think I get
Do
what you're
you
saying, bro.
feel that globally we have global haters from older countries?
I don't think so.
From what, as long as we've been around, which is not as long as some of these other nations, you don't think we have some global hate when it comes to how much success has come out of this one country at such an early time frame?
No.
I don't think so.
I travel as a Canadian.
Well, too many people. I meet too many foreigners that say that they glad they here to get some of this good money.
Yeah, I mean, like I say this. I've never experienced anything negative as an American in another country. I never had anyone talk about politics with me or anything like that. I try to avoid stuff like that. So, I personally have never experienced it. And now with the World Cup, a lot of people come here into the U.S. They now starting to experience the U.S. for what it is. I think people are walking away in a very positive manner about the United States now because that propaganda, about America not being safe and all this shit. Look, I went to the World Cup game, Haiti versus Morocco. There were over 100,000 people at the stadium. So it's like everyone is hugging, partying, having a good time. I think it's just a lot of the false propaganda about America is slowly going away, and I think people are starting to see that, like, you know what, we don't really hate each other, man. I think the media actually pushes that.
Like I said, I think it has a lot to do with it, but at the end of the day, you push Americans, and it don't matter what our indifferences are here. On a global scale, we project as united, and that's why you can walk in certain countries and do a head nod. It don't matter if he's white or black. If you know he's American,
I mean,
what that means. This is how you can tell some cosplayers out there. You do a little head bob to another brother, he automatically is going to do what? By nature, you're going to head bob back. Right. But
Yeah, I've
if
done
you
that.
run into an African that doesn't know that, he doesn't know what you're doing. He's kind of looking at you sideways like, what's that?
Yeah. I've run into that many a time. Seen a couple people that look like my cousin, and just just looking at me sideways, like, "Huh? You okay? Something on your neck?" I was like, "Nah, I'm good."
Right.
Well, Ronin, you might be right, man. I just ran into something the other day. An African accused me of stealing something out of all the foreigners that was around. I was only, and I think he kind of got me because I was an American, maybe. Maybe I'm wrong, but he flashed off and went off.
Well, you probably did it, so that's why.
Yeah.
No, I probably did.
Stereotypically, you know you stole it. Tell the truth.
No, I will tell you the truth. I ain't no. Hey, look, I ain't rich, but I ain't poor neither.
I know that's right. My brother be putting in the hours.
You know what? Like my dealings with Africans is not all that positive. Because one thing is they treat me a certain way when they assume that I'm American, but once I say I'm Haitian, oh, we're family, we're good now. I'm like, wait, keep that same energy, dog. I don't fuck with you either. So it's just like that's something I've always had this back and forth thing with Africans. Like when I talk to them, how they like to speak very negative about African Americans or Black Americans or whatever names you guys decide to be called today. I'm always have to constantly.
That was a slap in the back.
No, I mean, come on. One day you guys this, one day you guys that. Fuck it, I'm confused now. But
man, I'm with you on that one.
I'm just saying, man. Like, listen, I'm always constantly defending. Like, hey, listen, I was raised here. My ex-wife was African American. My kids are African Americans. I learned to appreciate and understand the Black history, the Black sacrifice, the Black contribution in this country. So I respect that. And I can't let another person that just got here 2 or 3 years ago talk shit. So I always checking their ass. And again, once they realize, oh, I'm Haitian, it's like, oh, you understand. It's like, no, I don't. I've been here since the 70s. It's just like, I was raised around them. They're not like that. They're very successful. They do a lot. But it's interesting when they assume that when they assume that I'm American or Black American, whatever, they treat me a certain way. Then they change up once they realize that I'm Haitian, and I catch that a lot of times.
Well, shout outs to the Africans. I wish them the best, especially looking at their country. So at the end of the day, I'm from America.
Damn, sneak this.
Nah, that ain't no sneak this. That's just me keeping it real.
In your face, kind of this.
Feel the way you want to feel. You know what I'm saying? You here, ain't you? So at the end of the day, I know people are going to talk trash or feel some people inside the country going to talk trash. But at the end of the day, I think that, yeah, there could be hate and there's love. And so I can't measure it because I just haven't conducted a global survey of it, right? But at the end of the day, we are on top. And then, when you are on top, people are going to try to usurp you because they hate you. Not really. It's just, they want to be on top too, right? Why would they want to be at the bottom or number 2 or number 3? And so that's just a part of life. So I really don't worry about it too much. Do you
think there is global hate towards the American people? America being so accelerated past the older nations that used to be the colonizers themselves. I'm talking Spain, Portugal, England, even. These countries have been around way longer than us. We're the stepchildren of England, right?
You can't even compare them to us now. You can't even compare. Have you looked at their economy? Have you looked at
you don't think that's insulting to another nation that bored us, we separated from, and we excel past them? You don't think that's upsetting?
No. I don't think they care.
But let's say
they're doing.
I don't care.
They're excelling in things, in different things, and compared to us as well. So it depends on what you're looking at. Everybody has the thing that they're great at, better than the rest of the world. So we might be better or doing good with ABC, but they got the rest of the alphabets. So it depends on really what you're looking at. Look, if you want to say that about England and whatnot, look at the educational system. Ours is way behind compared to theirs.
In a better or worse way?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, educating to still be losing at life, I don't see that as the goal and the objective. to be an educated loser, and I can't pay my electricity bill. But shout outs to England, though.
You know what? I would say that could be true, but at the same time, I'm being facetious a little bit because I know at the end of the day, it's about the dollar. It's about global economy. It's about money and wealth. And that has been so changed from just zeroed in on one nation to another. You know, some of these companies are multicultural, multi-country type of businesses. You got the Rothschilds, you got different businesses, Blackwater, and all these other things that are going on that are on a global scale now. It doesn't matter what country it is anymore. So I think when it comes to national pride, we still have a lot more when it comes to that, more so than whether the global economy is affected or not affected by one person.
The U.S. is still the beacon of all countries where you could come here with nothing and make something out of yourself. This is the only country. I don't think there's really not any other country that could do that. Where you could come here with nothing in your pocket, no education, but you could actually make something out of yourself. And I'm living proof of that. My mother came here in this country legally in the 70s on a raft boat, just like other Cubans and Haitians came in back in the 70s. She worked out, she worked her way up. I mean, yes, she's retired now. She's enjoying her Social Security, but her kids did really well. So for a woman that couldn't, do nothing in Haiti, risk her life, including my life, come to the U.S., and I have all of her 6 kids, advanced degree holders, all making 6 figures, all doing quite well. Her grandkids are now attending Ivy League schools. My one of my nephews just graduated from Harvard Business School. I have another nephew at Georgia Tech getting his doctorates. So again, this is from one generation.
But don't we hear that the same with the Africans that do go to London that are doing the same thing? Are they? I assume they're not going there and having a worse life than where they came from.
I mean,
nah.
Yeah, I mean, I think as long as you leave your country, you're always gonna have a better situation, especially if it's a third world country. But I think the U.S. still top tier over England. Yeah, like this is where you could come here, like within the next 20 years, you got a smart idea, a smart business plan, you could actually become a millionaire. If you get, if you put your money in the right investment, this is the only country you could do that. I mean, granted, yes, you're gonna work your ass off. You may be stressed out, you may have bad health, but you still have opportunity to do better. And again, I'm living proof of that. My mother came from a place where she was homeless with my brother. My mother told me, she shared a lot of stories how life was for her in Haiti. But when she came here, this is the only place where she could come. She worked as a housekeeper, cleaning people's rooms, but she was able to retire off of that. But guess what? Her children were able to go to school, get their degrees. Her grandchildren are now taking things to the next level. Ivy League graduates, dentists, doctors, engineers, lawyers. Yeah, so it's like, this is the only country you could do that. And I'm grateful for that. And again, I can never talk shit about the United States. Like,
But you wanna go ahead. I'm listening.
No, go ahead. No, I'm done.
The only time I really hear people, the only time I don't have problems with like Africans or Caribbeans or anything. The only time I hear about them really like bashing America is when I hear them talk to women. Like, no, when I talk to other like women that tell me that they dated African, they have bad stories to say about how they talk about Black American men, but I never.
It's completely fine.
I don't get it from them.
Hey, look, it's completely fine, bruv. If I came from Africa, I would say the same thing too. So you got it dirty, Mac. So dirty, Mac. But at the end of the day, what you just said, Black Man Travel, is on point like Stacey Adams. I mean, and I'm not even against this, but other countries don't have the same policies. If you came and tried to become a multi-millionaire in China or Thailand, nothing against you. They're just very protectionist. They're going to protect their own economy. They want their people to win. They don't want local competition amongst foreigners. And so at the end of the day, I'm not saying that's wrong. I'm not saying they should get like us. I don't care. They can do whatever they want to do with their land. It's entirely up to them. I'm just pointing out the difference. And the difference is in America, we allow that. I mean, that's like written into our story, and massive amounts of people have lived that experience and done extremely well. And so that's the big difference. Now, again, that's just a difference I like. You can like whatever else other countries have when they say, hey, this is our land, our country, we're born from here, this is our ethnic background, and we should progress, not foreigners. That's okay. I don't have nothing against it. Do what you do. But I'm just saying that's a big difference.
You know, it kind of ties in when I hear Americans talk about foreigners or immigrants coming here to take their jobs. Like, what jobs? They come here to do.
I didn't know jobs are color coded. First of all,
I mean,
it must be implied that there are certain jobs that are.
You kind of hear it a lot, and it's just like to me, that's a big ass excuse. I mean, if you threatened by someone that speaks barely English, that speaks a volume about your character and about your education level. I'm never threatened by an immigrant coming here because I know my skill set is way above his. But when people start talking about, well, they're coming taking all the jobs and this and that, whatever, I'm like,
you absolutely right. And I noticed that foreigners, when they come here and they get to like certain jobs, any job, they'll do anything. They real calculated about it. Real calculated.
Yeah, for the most part. But people be hating. That's nothing new. I mean, even Trump and Elon themselves had to condemn the nonsense when people were mad at the H-1B visas. Indians ain't committing crimes. In Fresno, they were actually had the lowest crime rate in all of Texas, but people were still complaining about it. Of course, when you do good, just people are going to hate. If you are an Indian living in India doing good, people are going to hate because of different backgrounds. If you're a Haitian born in Haiti, you know people are going to hate because they have different backgrounds and they're going to try to stop you and block you and dirty Mac. So it's just a thing. It's a human nature thing. But across the board, when it comes to like policies, your right and your ability to move throughout the society, that will not stop you. But hating will be all up and through people. In all different class, cultures, race, genders, people just gonna get the hate. Yeah, you got that job. You might have did well for yourself, black man travel, but that's because you a cis heterosexual male. That's why. Somebody's gonna throw something at you instead of realizing you did it with hard work and dedication.
Welcome, Nat Neezy, to the panel as an addition. Welcome, my brother. We just celebrating 250 Independence Day of the United States of America. It's an open panel, open for whatever discussion you want, where the position of black men are in 2026 to whatever you want to talk about. We're kind of open right now in the conversation. So
y'all already exhausted the fact that y'all Negroes was enslaved up until 1865.
Hey, can I say something to Nat real fast?
Oh yeah, okay. This is my nephew Juan, by the way. He's very
peace, Juan.
By the way, yeah.
No. I just want to say, man, I'm almost a fan of your work, man. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Thanks, brother.
Yeah, I'm almost a fan.
Why almost?
Man, look, I've been.
Because he's a man. He ain't gonna say he's a fan. That's why.
Yeah, right. You're right. Yeah. You know what? I'll bite the bullet, man. I'm a fan of your work. Back from the Razor days.
Ooh, that's what's up, brother. I appreciate it, man.
Oh, yeah.
So, to the topic, right? 1776, we were still enslaved, right? And I'm not a Pan-African or anything, but it just doesn't make a lot of sense to be proud of where we came from under duress up until we were free. I think it's cool to be American after we were free, but I think being a slave in America probably sucked. You know, so that's why the Independence Day for me doesn't mean anything. I do not rock the 13 colony flag. My American flag was created, I believe, in 1860 something. So that's the one that I rock, which is the current iteration of the flag. So, you know, I don't really care about independence from England in 1776, when actually England in 1812 offered us a chance to fight for our freedom, and then moved to, I think, Bahamas, Nova Scotia, and ultimately Trinidad, if we fought on the side of the British. So, you know, I'm cool with America after 1865, straight up. I got a lot of feedback, I think, from Bacchus.
Oh, my bad.
He's back there working, man. So he's trying to multitask.
Well, who's that?
Yeah, I
Is
had my
Bacchus
mic open though. I had my
Bacchus
mic open, so I was.
Yeah.
Okay.
You see, people hate regardless, right? Because what is the highest paid salary demographic, racially speaking, in the United States of America? Does anybody actually know?
Is it Indians or Chinese?
Exactly. Boom, you had it first right.
Asians.
Indians.
Asians,
But Indians are at the top.
Yeah.
They're the first. But in the comment section, somebody's like, well, they get underpaid. So how do you get underpaid when you're the highest paid salary employees in the United States of America? See, math don't matter when hate comes through the heart and the soul. It's really irrelevant, right? It doesn't matter what you do. Now, that's beside the point. United States of America all day. And if you can't outperform, as Black Man Travel said, if you can't outperform the next man, then you're going to get defeated no way. I could take you back to Africa. I could take you to Malaysia, wherever. If you don't outperform, you just get mollywopped. And so at the end of the day, it's either perform or lose. And America definitely has that baked into the way it operates.
Right.
Yeah, there's going to be issues and stuff like that. Nobody's perfect. So don't go into flights of fantasy, nostalgia, and utopia. You got to go into reality. Every country has their issues, right? Every country has their progressions and transgressions. And so at the end of the day, what can you do in 2026? Ask yourself that.
Yeah. You have no excuse nowadays, man. Well, I mean, like I said,
You know what? Let me ask y'all something, because it just came to mind with what you just said there, financial. I know when I was growing up as Gen X, and I think maybe even Kanal might have experienced this. Obviously, Nagnesi and Bacchus are just as old. We didn't have DEI hire. It wasn't no equality of hiring. You either had to be the guy and 10 times better, or you didn't get the fucking job as a Black man. It's like with these laws, it softened our culture to enough where
it's still the same.
Now
way.
we're
Nothing
not
changed.
trying to fight as hard because some of our people feel like they're entitled to the job and don't have to work as hard anymore because there's other people coming in that are immigrants that are less than them. You get what I mean? There's a pecking order somehow in their mind mentally. Obviously, they're delusional. There's no fucking pecking order. You either get in and get grimy with it and do what you need to do in order to excel and be the best at it, or you don't fucking go anywhere. There's no fucking pecking order in this shit. Just because you've been here longer. Yeah.
I still think as a Black man, you still have to work twice as hard, know twice as more than the next person. It is what it is, especially in corporate. A Black man in corporate America is not ideal best practice. You know, especially someone that have a unique skill set. Yeah, then you are considered valuable. But in most cases, man, they don't want to see us in there. I said in a lot of these rooms, man, they don't want to see us in there. Unless you're making the money. That's it.
Oh yeah, if you're making the money, they're definitely happy to see you. Believe me, I came from a sales organization.
That's all that matters to me.
Right.
I don't care where the hell you at. If you're in Africa, Africans won't want to see you in the room depending on what tribe you come from. So at the end of the day, it's like to make it a separation. I just had to jazz it up a bit. That's it.
God damn, man. I thought I was in the
racist and a son. God damn.
I feel
no way.
Like Martin Luther King compared to this guy, man. Damn, financial. You made shit.
Oh, I'm dying over here, man. The clicks. I can't believe you did that. Salute to my brother, my family member, Felipe. How you doing, my brother?
I'm good, brother. Good to hear you guys. It's always a positive discussion. I just came up real quick. We had talked about the IT thing, and I'm going to tell you why I said what I said. My sister is a Berkeley grad. She got her degree in computer science, and then she got a master's at Northwestern and an MBA at Harvard. And she's an IT person. The reality of it is there aren't a lot of Black people at the higher levels of IT that are competing with the H-1B people. They're not. And part of it is the cost of somebody like my sister, who eventually became a C-suite person, versus a Chinese IT person or a Indian IT person. And I saw it firsthand. During COVID, the courts were closed. I'm an attorney. And so I went up to Google and worked at Google while the courts were closed. And it was, I was in San Jose, and there's nothing but Chinese and Indians there. I saw it firsthand, working in their law department. So I don't know what financial is talking about, but I can say with some certainty that the Blacks are just not in that area in numbers. They're not getting hired. And when they do get hired, because they have skills like my sister does, they are asking for the kind of paycheck they deserve. So I kind of missed your point there where you said Indians are the highest paid, but yet they're not cheaper. And the reality of it is you can hire 2 Indian IT engineers for the cost of 1 American one that went to Berkeley or Stanford. That's just a reality. That's why they do it.
And they're the highest paid, though. You have to argue away that. You have to argue that in comparison, when a white individual. Well, what are you talking about? Let's clarify that.
I'm talking about a person who's got at least a master's degree in computer science with heavy math.
Well, that's a very specific situation. So don't you see that kind of wild that you just added? It's a master's degree with specifically focusing on mathematics. You don't think that's pretty wild? What percentage of Americans even have that? Number one. I'm just saying the highest paid salary is Indians, period.
The Indians that are making the big money are usually doctors and engineers and chemists. In the IT field, first of all, most of the Blacks don't have the skills. They don't have the math. Second, they're not trying to hire them because of the cost of their employment. If you, like my sister,
keep saying IT,
I'm giving you an example of, I said it depends why they are the highest paid. If they're a doctor, if they're a chemist, if they're an engineer, they're making big money. But if you're talking about IT, they are cheaper than American IT people.
You got it. You're right. So anyways, you go out here and compete. I'm not doing them like that. What am I? I'm not about to go back and forth with you. If you believe what you believe and think what you think, then roger that. Continue to live on that. I'm not against it.
For my opinion, what's your support?
I told you what my support was. The numbers, the statistics that say that. Have you given me a statistics on IT and a master's degree specifically focuses on mathematics? No, you did not. And then you showed me no evidence that they discriminate you because you're Black. Not because you think they discriminated you because you're Black. Not because you think they didn't give you what you rate. Specifically, you have to show me evidence of that because you made the accusation that someone's doing something illegal because that's illegal in the United States.
What is the benefit? Let me ask this question real quick, and maybe we can get some clarity on this. What is the benefit if we have educated people here in America to bring somebody over on an H-1B1 visa?
Cheap.
To a
They're
company.
cheap. They're just cheap. Highly educated and cheap.
But aren't they getting the same pay wage as somebody that would be in America with that equal or level? So then there's the discrepancy. Why are you bringing over H-1B1 visa personnel if you can get the same type of quality people here, other than it's cheaper to hire the H-1B1 visa because maybe you're cutting some corners on promising them citizenship on a long-term hire or something like that?
Let me take this one.
I never looked at the I never looked at the 10Ks of any corporation and saw that there was a segmentation between those who held a green card and those who are actual national citizens, and then they had a difference in their pay structure. That is not supported in the documentations of the company. So unless the company is one, committing fraud, because they're not subjugating those two different differentiations, and two, violating the United States law, because obviously that's against the law in the United States.
I gotta blow the buzzer on that one, financial. Only reason I'm saying that is what would be the benefit of them running that study besides to point the finger at themselves? Who's going to pay for that study? You get what I'm saying? It doesn't benefit the corporation to want to do that statistic, because they would be kind of like blowing their own whistle on themselves.
It would be illegal for them to do that. You can't discriminate and decide to pay somebody different based off of their green card situation. That's illegal. So unless you got the biggest court case in the United States where you could sue Google, Meta, Alphabet for discriminating specifically people with specific green cards, then go ahead and do it. I'm not against you. I'm not saying don't do it, but you have zero evidence. You have not took them to court and prove what you're saying is true and valid. And if it is, and you truly believe it, I say go get the lawyers, because you would make one of the greatest compensations and actual benefits ever in United States history.
DEI and everything else have been taken out of the factor mill, so you can't go back and sue on something where you're talking about.
No, that's not about DEI. That's discriminating somebody based off of their actual documentation, whether they hold a green card or nationality.
But the whole thing is, even when being hired by corporate America, you're either being hired at will or you're being hired under a specific contract to do a job. So if they
but you still
decide not to hire you, you can't say, why didn't you hire me? Because you just weren't the fit that we wanted to be with our company.
All I'm saying is prove it in court. What you're saying is just an allegation. What I'm saying is,
can I jump in here on this,
until proven guilty.
Go ahead.
But go ahead. Go ahead. Y'all got it. They discriminate.
No, man, come on.
Indians.
We having a
high level smoke. Hold on. Financial on smoke today.
Financial. We having a high level conversation. Don't defer like that, bro. Let people get their points off, and you let everybody else be the judge.
Shit, I'm scared to speak. Shit.
Not now.
No, I got nothing but respect for my brother Financial. He know that. So now look, from a person who's not even close to that branch, right? I heard that there was a couple of issues with these H1B1 people being taken advantage of, right, and being abused, threatened to be kicked out of the country and all that based on their status, right? I guess it was some sort of status that was tied to their job. So they were complaining about that. I'm not sure if anyone else heard that, but the only reason to bring someone over on an H1B1, right, is because they're highly educated and they cost less. That's the only thing. And here's the thing where a lot of Americans will fall out is on the highly educated part. Like my brother mentioned the math. A lot of us as Black Americans, we're not like mathematicians like that by and large. So that's probably why the representation isn't there. I think we have to lay some of it at our own feet, on the educational issue, but then on the other issue of the visa and cost, that's business. I see it out here as well. Like they're hiring people matter of fact, let me take it to another branch. I've seen Filipinos out here driving trucks on the highways. Filipinos, Romanians, and what they do is they kill the market for the Dutch people who won't work for that same rate. So they keep bringing them in. And what's happening, these dudes are crashing on highways, pulling off from a storage tank with LPG in it while they're still connected to their truck, doing all kind of nonsense, creating issues because they're less, I guess, trained, but they have the skill set. I don't know if that can transfer well to the H1B1, but I did hear that they were being, there were some discrepancies under the law as how they were being treated under the H1B1.
And that makes perfect sense because you're absolutely right, especially with these trucks.
He's a truck driver, by the way. He sees this shit all the time. So
I see it all the time. Yeah, they hauling all the loads that it's not just Indians and Filipinos. It's Caribbeans. It's everybody. They take. That's why the load board is so messed up. they'll run a load from California to New York City for that's easily 10. I'm gonna say it's easily $8,000 to $15,000. They'll run that for $3,000.
Damn, how are they even paying for the gas?
Man, I'm not
Exactly.
sure.
Price everybody out of the system.
But that's what I've been hearing, exactly what my brother just said. And I heard they got a lot of Somalis out there doing it too. Somalis and Indians taking these loads, pause, for pennies on a dollar that we wouldn't do. So I'm asking an uneducated question. Is there a way that that same type of system can transfer to the tech industry? If you have highly educated people that come from third world countries where, you know, a half a salary will look really attractive to them,
It's pimping.
and then
Big bro, it's pimping. It's 4th of July. We gotta get 100 with it, right? It's quarter of a century. We're not a baby nation no more, right? So the people who founded this place, the people just showing up, it's pimping. This whole thing, capitalism, is pimping. So you got to understand this tech industry. Why are they doing this? Because they can pimp out these third world people who know how to code for a couple of years, and then they lose that Microsoft contract to go work for a third party tech company, yada, 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 whoop de whoop. Right. But I think if we take a couple of steps back, and thank you so much for having me on this panel. Shout out to everybody on the panel and the chat. Shout out to y'all. I really think the big issue is, why has our country come to a point where we have vulnerably executed a decapitation of potential for our youth? Right? We're all sitting here talking about get rich quick on our phones, talking about all this nonsense, and these people who really be just shitting on the streets, coming over here making $100,000 a couple of years, and then they bounced out, go work for another company. Our corporate elites have designed a system where they can create more revenue by hiring people who aren't even from here. And this is an internal issue that I genuinely think we need to address, because if we're not going to address the rich people pimping out the world and disregarding the citizens of this United States of America, then we're never going to figure out what's going on.
They had a slang term.
Can I add my part now? Or
yeah, go ahead.
Oh, yeah.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Call me, Juan. You was about to say something. I don't want to cut in front of you, my brother. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, I was just saying they had a slang term for it. They was calling it the Great Replacement. So what the brother at the bottom was saying.
Okay, shout outs to the Great Replacement. Let's do the math on it. Overall industry. The control of people who actually have green card and permanent residency is 95.7%. Active H-1B visa holders represent 4.3% of all U.S. jobs related to the high-tech industry. Continue. Explain it away.
Explain what away? I'm confused with that.
Well, let
me slow walk this. Explain away that 90%, and I'll actually be conservative, 90% of the people who work these high-end jobs that you keep making the accusation that they're filling up with H-1B visas, 90% of them are just American citizens, period. The H-1B visa holders, the guys who hold actively H-1B visas, right? And they work these jobs only make up 5%. Let's give it 10. Let me take it to 10, just to favor what you're saying. So 10 versus 90. Do you understand what I'm saying now? Or maybe I didn't explain it right. 90% of the people who hold the jobs are American citizens. Boom. They don't have an H-1B visa.
Well, if that's true, then this whole argument just went to shit.
I didn't know it was an argument specifically on H-1B.
Well, I mean, not an argument, but that means
an H-1B visa. Wait, hold on. So the arguments that American citizens got the job?
No. I didn't hear that either.
Well, then what's the argument? What I heard, and maybe I got it wrong. Go ahead.
Preface. It was a discussion, but I thought that it was based on income values. The Indian people making more because the position or stems, because they're getting more of the higher end jobs in those industries of stems. We were talking about how even ethnically Black people are not as competent in math because of what we are pushed towards, and you can use that as an excuse for a lot of people, because I'm exceptionally good on math. That was part of my thing, was in architecture. So
Ronan,
I mean,
Nat
I'm
Neezy
not
went into
sure.
a story.
Okay.
Nat Neezy went into a story, and it was a related story. So unless Nat Neezy gave us that story about some people being manipulated and oppressed because they had the H-1B visas, right? He was saying that the corporation had the power to manipulate some people and say, hey, if you don't do what we say, if you don't comply with our salary that we're giving you, we're going to reject the H-1B visas and send you the hell out of here. That story was completely irrelevant. And what he said was completely irrelevant to the topic at hand. It was relevant because we were talking about H-1B visas, all right? Now, you've been eating too good. You've been eating salmon. Your girl been cooking up too much good food, and you can't hear us in what we're saying, bro. All right? So plug back in. That's what they were talking about. And that's why I put the 90% versus the 10%.
I honestly, I feel like when we look at the logistics, right, it's about efficacy. Whether you're talking about people who were here when the country was founded or up to 60 years ago, when we're talking about Harvard getting sued because they're holding Asians and Indians and shit at a higher standard to get into the college, right? And they gotta settle out of court and pay these families because their kids had to work hard to get, you know what I'm saying? It's just weird. So like what I'm saying is it's about efficacy. There was a level of efficacy in this country, and then we had the tech revolution. We had the digital era where you could have a computer in the palm of your goddamn hands. You do everything off this now. And these kids think they know everything. They don't want to do the blue collar work. Nobody wants to be a plumber. Nobody wants to be an electrician. Nobody wants to drive a semi truck. Nobody wants to run a goddamn corner store, right? So who's doing it? Aji, right? Who's doing it? This is what I'm talking about. Like, it even goes back to the LA riots, that Korean dude who pulled up with a gun outside trying to defend his store. Like, this place is a melting pot of chaos. And those of us who can figure out the game and we can play it, we do well. But those of us who don't and we want to resist the game becomes the enemy. And like, I really think all of us know the game is rigged. But like, what are you going to do? You just going to sit here and talk about how the game's rigged all day? Or are you going to get in there and try to get some dubs? Like, are you going to have the Kobe mentality, or are you just going to sit here and be LeBron and hop teams all day? Because yeah, I'm a '93 baby, so I come up from that generation where I never got to see MJ, but I got to see Kobe. So it's like I don't understand this concept of all these new people, all these villagers are coming here and taking our job. Motherfucker, you don't want to do those jobs, bruh. Y'all want to be fucking Denzel Washington. Y'all want to be Tom Cruise, Hannah Montana type shit.
Hey, real quick, 250. Break down your ethnicity and your background real quick, because we don't know
brother, I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm Punjabi. I was born in Astoria, Queens, east of Manhattan River. After 9/11, my family moved to the West Coast. My daddy got a gas station in like 2002. I went to the University of Washington in Seattle. Then I went to the University of California, Los Angeles. I got my law degrees there. I practice law currently. I represent people who get DUIs or are charged with domestic violence assaults. Most of the time, I have these people that have spent 80 to 90 years of their life doing good things, but they have a few nights where they make mistakes. So I go into these courts and I talk to these white prosecutors and I look these white judges in the eyes and I represent my clients.
Okay.
My perception of being born and raised in this country has always been, I look at Martin Luther King, I look at Malcolm X, I look at black culture. I think the whole world looks at black culture and recognizes the vibe, recognizes the struggle. You don't got to be fucking English speaking or American and like, they got Russian rap, they got Indian rap, they got Brazilian rap, they got all kinds of weird ass rap in all kinds of countries. It's because there's a culture of struggle that the whole world connects with, right? So growing up here, being born and raised here, having 9/11 be a thing, affecting me, but then realizing I ain't shit. My family just showed up in this bitch. There's been people that are more melanated than me that have been struggling even more and for longer here, right? So I look at the game and I see what the game is, and that's why, like, I can't stand with the whole, why are these people coming in here and doing more work? Bro, they dropping the dubs. So we need to get up here and do the dubs too. Like, my mom and dad raised me to respect everybody. And they told me I was blessed to be born and raised here. And it's 250 right now. So like, I'm not gonna sit here and let these people divide us. I've done that my whole life. I try to unite with everybody. But I'm a goofy. I'm at the end of the day, I'm a goofy because I'm a guest. You feel me, fam?
You're not a goofy.
I don't know who said that.
You're not a goofy, and welcome to the panel. You're more
No.
than welcome.
This panel is great, but I'm just giving y'all my experience, like in real life, you know, IRL, like in real
I got a
life.
question for him. I got a question for him.
Listen.
Now he's not speaking about us.
No.
I got a question for him. At what age did his parents have the career conversation with him? At what age did they start pushing him towards becoming a lawyer or a business person? That's the question I have to ask him, that I want to ask him.
Well, shutouts. When he come back, I think he'll say something. Look here, black man. Listen to me quite damn clear. You can listen to all this shit, type of stuff. I was about to cuss. You can listen to this stuff all day, what you want. The system's rigged and all this, and everybody in the world acknowledge your struggles. Stop the cap. Everybody got struggles their own. They don't care. And it's not like they hate you or they got something against you. They got stuff that they deal with. In Thailand, I'm here in Thailand. In 1906, Thai people stopped being slaves. Let me say that again, because y'all think y'all the only people who went through some stuff. In 1906, King number 6, Raman number 6, decided to say, hey, Thai people are not allowed to be slaves anymore in slavery in Thailand. They just got free not too long ago. Everybody has a struggle. What people are going to sit up here and try to sell you is, their struggle over here was hard. Look, nothing was hard in comparison to chattel slavery. So anything y'all talking about, I don't get hired at the IT job, miss me. Now that's just me. All right.
Well, you know what's
but
crazy,
at the end
brother,
of the day, I'm going to talk through the people. I don't give a damn
Yeah.
what your parents did. I don't care if your mom was a single buck-headed tooth out here doing something loose for a strange piece of change. It's up to you to change your paradigm. Don't blame no school teachers. Don't blame no institutions. Go out here and do what you can do, because I believe that you can do it, and I know you can. We tell people when they little kids that they can do everything that they can. And when they grow up to be salty losers as adults, they turn back around and tell why everybody they can't do it. Gen Z is F. I'm not telling Gen Z that. I'm not leaving behind that message. I'm leaving one behind: inspiration. There's going to be conflicts and problems and turmoils everywhere. Get used
Gen
to
Z
it.
got the
Go out
internet,
here and
but
win.
bro. You know what I mean? They got the internet. Like,
I
that's
know
the thing
that,
with
but
these
I'm
Gen
just
Z
trying to,
kids,
I
bro.
know
They
that.
ain't trying to play in this 9 to 5 bullshit. They ain't trying to do all this Democrat, Republican shit. When you really connect with these Gen Z kids, they know what the gig is. Like, we used to smoke weed back in the day and talk about the
Bro, it's
Illuminati and it's
12
all
to 12
conspiracy.
overseas.
It's wild. The game has changed now, you know. And like, I gotta tell you this, bro. When you talking about people that have actually come from countries where there was genocide, wars, colonization, all this shit, America's a piece of cake. America's a fucking piece of cake. And I think that's where the divide is in culture, because you got people who were born and raised here, the parents were born and raised here, and they think the whole world's like this. It's all just, I get to complain about the weather type shit. But the people come from places where they get murdered for being who they are, or what God they believe in. So they come here and they're like, oh, I could work, I could follow the law, bet.
Yeah, that's
And they're
called
doing
America,
well.
though. You just described America. So, I mean, it ain't sweet for America for all people, and it ain't been sweet for America for all people. So you can't. I understand you, a bright-eyed, bushy-tailed son of immigrants, and salute to you for doing your thing. But there's different Americas. So that bootstrap conversation works for certain places, but there's places where people that look like me and most of my brothers on the panel have a really hard time. You understand what I'm saying? I don't use that as an excuse, but we're not going to do the where you came from is worse than where you came to, because America ain't all peachy keen when you look at it from the outside. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with that.
Well, I always say there's a big difference between immigrants who decide to come to the United States, right? And regular.
Yeah.
You can't compare them to all Americans. You know why? Because I know Americans who won't go to the next city. They still yelling at Trump to bring back some jobs in their old small town because the coal industry left about 50 to 100 years ago. They won't go to the next city for opportunity. They believe that the job should come to them. I tell you
No,
what,
but brother,
you
that's
go
what
to
I'm
a
saying.
foreign
That's the crazy
country. Let me
part.
land my plane.
Yeah.
At 250. All right, go
Yes,
back to
sir.
0, and then you can go to 250.
This
Listen,
motherfucker.
there's people when you go to other countries that don't do a damn thing, and you know them. Go to India, go to all these different countries. And you got people that get multiple girls pregnant and sit around and drink brews and don't add no value to the society.
That sounds
Those
like a thug
people
from
are
Compton. What you
not going
talking
to
about?
go somewhere else. They're going to stay right there where they're at, and they're not going to have the determination and drive to go to a foreign country. So when you match those two groups up, the
That's
people who
wild, though.
come to America is a very ambitious set of group of people. You're not
I'm
all
sorry,
Haitian
brother,
people,
but that's
Black Man
not
Travels.
correct. That's not
I
correct,
only
brother.
lived overseas for
You're
18
spewing
years.
lies right now, brother. I got mad love for
I've
you, but you're
only been there
spewing
for
lies.
18 years. Wait, hold
No,
on.
but see,
First of all,
this
your
is the thing.
perspective.
This is the
Okay,
thing.
go ahead. You got
It
it.
goes back to my point about the black rap connection, right, around the world. This is the crazy shit right here, right? We talking about how many baby mamas we got in the United States, and this man over here talking about in the United States, over 70% of the population doesn't even have a passport. But you're going to talk about countries like Ethiopia, India, and all these weird
They don't
places
got
where
passports.
we say they impregnating women and not fathering the children, right? And these motherfuckers actually got visa stamps on their passport. How many Americans are traveling? Mostly none, right? So, like you said, they want to go to the next city to get an opportunity. But, like, bro, we have more single parents here than anywhere else in the world. And it's just like the incarceration system. We put more people in cells
That's
than
false.
anywhere else in the
Let
world.
him
So
talk. He just
that's
running. Go ahead.
wild.
You got
No,
it,
but like
bro.
I'm just saying, brother, that's wild when the people dealing with the same struggle showing up and doing a good job are the problem.
Who said that? Nobody said that. You just keep running. You sound like a hurt woman. Ain't nobody said nothing about people who came here and we don't like them. Nobody said that, bro. You a lawyer. This
I
is how you
literally
argue
just
your
shouted
case in
him out
court.
for being a lawyer, coming here and doing this thing
Exactly.
as a son of
He shouted
immigrants.
you
We're
out.
not on that type of town. But what I will say is I didn't miss that whole. Oh, you sounded like you just described a thug in Compton. Watch your mouth, homie, because we could talk about grape culture in your country, and I'm not gonna lay that at your feet. There's stereotypes to everybody, but you got to understand your audience. We having a high level conversation here. For you to take that and just throw it at, oh, that you sound like you describing a thug in Compton while ignoring the thugs in Punjab, while ignoring the CDs and all that other stuff. So let's keep it respectful.
Happy 4th of July. Happy shout outs to the United States of America, man.
USA.
We got a
all day.
diverse group
We
of people.
we having a race war on this mother. I rock with homie. I rock with him.
Race war. Yeah, we all good. And like I said, it's such a high level conversation. An intelligent rebuttal should not be an insult, but a way of saying, hey, this is the position you're in. The room that you're reading is kind of a little off, and just kind of cater your conversation more towards more the topic and the level or echelon of people that you're talking to. You get what I
No,
mean?
but brother, this is what I mean. With the reason why I jumped on was because of the H-1B visa bullshit, right? Why is it that white conservatives who have an interest in revenue in the US of A, which is all this place is about, let's keep it 1 trillion, right? It's about making a profit. It's a capitalist society, right? We're not a democracy, we're a republic. We're a republic. So these white conservatives are more invested in bringing some dude from Pakistan or Hindi speaking Gujarat or Mumbai or wherever the fuck over here and making a 6-figure salary while we got our brothers and sisters starving in the streets, not having the right school system, and then on top of that, we find out there's an island with some dude named J.E. and all these rich scientists and politicians for the last however many years been getting compromised. It's like to protect TOS, we got to keep it real. We gonna get into details,
Wait,
right?
hold
Because
on.
we on
First of
YouTube.
all,
But like, this is crazy. Like when you start understanding that we're not each other's enemy, that's where it gets crazy. But I'll be on a lot of panels
bro, wait,
where
hold on.
people
But the
make
white conservative male ain't my
race and
enemy.
religion such a topic. You got to
The white
understand
conservative male ain't my enemy, though. The white conservative male ain't my enemy. Don't try to come up here and gas something like
how is that so when they're always going to look at you as a lesser human being?
I don't give a damn what you look at me. Pakistani and whatever, you not my brethren.
Hey man,
White
you ain't
conservative male is
gonna
my
pull no
brethren.
Samuel L.
Don't try to
Jackson on Django right
Don't
now.
try to pull none of
We
that
ain't
on
doing no
me.
Samuel L. Jackson on Django.
Don't try to
on
run
the
amok.
250.
Run astray.
Hold on now. I just put you in the back for a second. I didn't kick you out the room. But what you will not do, okay? You won't come up here and do that. We can have a respectful, high intelligent conversation. We're all well-educated, well-knowledged men. We'll allow you to put your points across, but don't come across like that, bro. Okay? So calm down a little bit. This is a room where you can voice your opinion. We're not going to get offended. I'm more than happy to see a redneck in his face tell me he's a redneck. You know what I'm saying? I don't care. Doesn't bother me and doesn't affect what I do in my life. So if you have a point of view, you're more than welcome to share it. But calm down about the way you're addressing it. Okay. Shout out to my brother Black Cleaner for the $2 super chat. Mac is speaking facts. All right, I'm gonna bring you back up 250. Let Financial Freedom finish off his point of view, and then see, he decided to leave on his own.
Oh, really?
Okay,
that's cool.
I was about to bring him back up, and I even said so as much. So I don't know how you're an intelligent lawyer and you can't have a friendly debate without getting so upset that you got to jump up out the room.
One thing I wanted to also speak on, because I spent some time going to school in the UK, was that what I heard from the Black UK people was they have the same credentials, but they are put through a longer gauntlet to get to the same position. And part of it is because the United States actually passed civil rights legislation, whereas the UK didn't pass it. They have what's more along the lines of human rights legislation, which is about fairness, but it doesn't specifically deal with them as a person from the Caribbean or a person from Africa or things like that. And so because of that, the consistent comment that I heard from Black UK people is, if they went to Cambridge or they went to wherever, that the if you want to call it the white Brit, maybe they go through 15 interviews for a position, whereas the Black Brit, maybe they go through 30 or 40, and they may get the position or they may get a lower position with the same level of education. And so it's a social mobility issue that they have there. Now, I was a foreign student there, but this is what they were telling me, that they do get access to the social mobility, but it's not in the same way as a white Brit.
Okay. I think they definitely shouldn't be treated unfair and unjust. And definitely they should take their cases up to the court if they can, and wish them the best on their struggle and their fight. And I'm not even being a jokey about it. Merit deserves reward, but you got to fight for it, just like our ancestors fought for it. And so I get it. One of the things I was trying to say to the brother is, I'm tired of hearing all this, letting people come up all up in our kitchen, in our house, talking about capitalism, evil capitalism. I mean, make up your own system and go somewhere else that got a better system, or create the system in which you.
But the whole point is, the system that his family thrived in, were able to open up gas stations and establish businesses, most likely based on the government allowing them to have loans to start these businesses, is the same system that he thrived on, got to get his education, become a lawyer and everything else off of. But then you're wanting to fight against the same system that helped propagate you up into the position that you're in right now.
They get y'all steered in the wrong direction, so y'all keep your head off the goddamn prize and don't buy assets and really out here build wealth and realize that money can capitalize on power too, social, economically, and politically. But here, let me goat you down this lane and tell you that you need to keep your eye on all this other BS. And then at the same time, I'm going to land my plane, trying to sow a divide. I see so many people getting paid or doing just YouTube content. They could be from Portugal. They could be from all sorts of countries. And they always want to talk about the drama of the United States. Okay, what about the drama in Portugal? What about the drama in China? Everybody has their own problem. But here we let people come in and cook up the problem, soak divide. You know why I said that about the white conservative? Because the white conservative, they're all not the same. And I'm not going to cast all white conservatives as racist who are against me and don't want me to see win. There are people who will stand the line and make sure that I get what I deserve too. I can't condemn all of it. I never seen no Pakistani brother fight for my rights in the United States. It was with black people and white people that we died to create the United States that all these people enjoy at the end of the day. It's a mixed history of it. We fought together in the actual foxhole. We had differences, we had problems, but we fought together. And coming up here stirring up nonsense, when in the countries y'all come from, y'all got a caste system that stretches back 5,000 years, where people are just dying and reincarnating, and all they could do is be a street sweeper and act like we got the problem. It's ridiculous. It is wild.
Bruh, you
really
are wild,
talking about
bro.
people being discriminated. And we talking about America? Come on, man.
Nak, he got
so
you
I'm
beat,
saying
bro.
Stop that. And we'll have a conversation with ourselves and sort out what the brother was talking about. Hey, man, these people who are upward mobile, they're being stopped. Hey, they're being discriminated. I'm not against trying to stop that because I'm not for it. So I get it. I'll be on your team. I'll put money up for your cause on stuff like that, regardless. But at the end of the day, that nonsense, nah, I'm not with that.
Yo,
shout out to my nephew Juan for coming up on the panel. This is his $10 super chat. I think his phone died or he got disconnected. You're more than welcome to join back on the panel if you'd like. Real quick, thank you guys for staying with the live. Like I said, if you'd like to come up, you're more than welcome. Just be, semi-conscious of the type of people that are in the room. Nobody's ignorant by any means. We can all understand and break down information if you're giving it to us rightly. Just a little breakdown on stems as you guys were talking. I went ahead and broke down when you're talking about Asian people by income within the United States household system. Here's the breakdown. When you say Asian, that's a broad enough, but this is the breakdown of just that Asian the diametric when it comes into statistics. Indians are at 151 on average, Taiwanese, Pakistani, and then Filipino. Asian overall, then Chinese, Japanese, Malaysian, Korean, Vietnamese, and so on. So when you say Asian, that's a broad enough scope, just like you say black person. That don't necessarily mean American black or whatever. So let's break that down and understand who we're talking about. Okay?
Yeah. On that same chart, the blacks are not listed. I think they're around 30,000 median income. On that.
I'll back it up to where it was breaking down by ethnic type here before we got into the Asian group here. Yeah. So that's the disparity right now that's going on.
Yeah, I mean the issue, at least in some of the professions, is the competency in the core skills, whether that's math or that's advanced science, including physics and organic chemistry, these kinds of things. That, as a general proposition, a lot of blacks are not competitive, and there are reasons for that.
This is statistically saying, this is not us opinionated. This is the statistics that are shown, and I just pulled those down. The Census Bureau and everything else is sitting right there at the bottom of that infographic. I ran these numbers as we were going through the conversation. That's one thing.
Why wouldn't I hire blacks? Why wouldn't I hire blacks, Ronin?
They're not.
If I'm looking at this, no, damn that, because they are. No, watch this. The corporation's all about capitalism, right?
Right.
And they're good at math, and this is discrimination based off of the race. So go back to that sheet that you had, if you could, please.
Which one?
And then why wouldn't the one that you had all the actual different racial groups? Yeah, that one.
Okay. I got a couple different ones, so if you want to look at this one,
that one. Yeah. Okay. So if I'm using my brain, why wouldn't I say, hey, let me stop hiring the Asians, let me stop hiring the whites and hire the blacks? Because they're good, just as the whites. And so if I could hire them, then I could half what I'm paying to the Indians. Going back to that sheet where you had Indians at or Asians at 120.
By the way, Black Cleaner, I see you in the background. I'll pull you up in a second.
It only makes sense because the evil game is capitalism. Now, if you're saying capitalism with a dose of racism, well, I'm just saying the narrative. I don't believe that. But what I'm saying is, right, capitalism only worries about profit It only worries about making money. So I would hire the blacks. They're technically just as skilled, but we usually discriminate against them. And now I'm choosing not to because I get a 50% and almost 100% reduction on my payroll by hiring them.
It's
just based off of that chart.
It's something very simple, which is a person that's on a visa that is allowing them to be in the country. And basically, if they are mistreated in the workplace, are much less likely to complain than a citizen. And so therefore, that's why you wouldn't hire the black or the white or whomever, is because it's a combination of salary and also the precariousness of their employment. And
no 90.
You know,
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
My bad.
You
no, my bad. I didn't. No, you were still landing. Go ahead. My fault.
You can go back to the 20s and 30s, and that's always been an issue with employment in the United States, of putting people who are in precarious positions into a place where they can't complain. And the other issue is skill. It's not an issue of blacks with the training won't get hired because they're black. It's an issue of, do they have the training and skill, and is that competitive with the H-1B people? The H-1B in and of itself requires that the skills that they are being brought in for are not skills that can be hired domestically. That's part of the law. So it's a combination of things. It's not I'm black and therefore I'm not going to be hired because I'm black. It's, do I have the requisite to compete? And in many cases, they don't. And that can be where they went to school, how well they did, what kinds of skills they gained in college and their master's degree or PhD or whatever they got.
Oh, okay, but if that's the case, you ain't even got the skills, so you shouldn't even be in the conversation. Tool up, homie. So if you're not tooled up with the skills, stop trying to interject yourself in a situation because you don't have the skills. Now you're trying to argue in a position where you don't even have the skill set. I don't care about the reason you ain't got the skill set. Then going in, it's still 90 to 10%. And then again, Ronin, you see, it is about the H-1B visas because that's what he's talking about.
No, I get that, but let me say this real quick. And I get this as an isolated incident. His sister obviously is well educated and worth every penny of it, and I'm sure she demands the salary that she demands because of her education. While, as you can see, right, even what Fearless is saying, you can pay an H-1B visa holder for the same position as Lex.
It's no
so
evidence.
The advantage, and that's an advantage to the corporation. Hey, we're an incorporated country. Sorry, I hate to say it. It's
There's
business.
no evidence. There's no evidence, and you should just hire black people. There's no evidence of what you're saying, and
but
even
there's
if
not
you say,
enough.
Even if, watch this. But
wait.
You're right.
You're
right. It's only 5%.
Right. There's only 6.7% of black people that can be hireable anyway. So if there are more jobs than black people are available, then obviously the H-1B1 visa or whoever is available is going to get hired. Corporate wise.
What I'm saying is, okay, let me accept your premise. You're right. They're plotting this scheme, and then they're trying to underpay them because they're H-1B visas. Okay, there's no proof, but let me just say you're right. All right, there is proof. Boom. It's still 5%. The majority of people who are hired by these corporations are still American. They mostly hire Americans.
Right.
So what the hell? So you're arguing about a small 5%.
Don't face the debate, brother. Come on.
Well, but you get what I'm saying?
I disagree with that too.
We go down. I looked up the stats. So please, somebody, maybe I got the stats wrong. Maybe the stats I pulled up were wrong.
You just tell me which one you want me to put on.
I kind of disagree with the stats.
Yeah, I put a stat in the chat that it's 66% of the Silicon Valley people are foreign born.
But are they citizens? because now your argument would move. They're foreign born, but they're citizens. So which one is it? Which one are you hanging your hat on? H-1B visas or being citizen born?
Can I say this? Because I mean, I know of situations because I've been in these industries, and what I noticed a lot of times is the companies will use temp agencies. So the company is getting the account to and that's the person who is the American born who has the account, but then the American born person with the account is going to hire these undocumented immigrants to do a lot of the work. So he's on the record, but then he has a lot of people that are off the record. So a lot of times when you're looking at these stats, the stats are skewed because they have all of these loopholes that allow them to be able to do things, to be able to manipulate getting the work done.
Yeah, that's right. About 40%.
Hey, if somebody wants to send me a link for the stats, I can pull those up so we can actually provide them for everybody to see. I kind of looking at what Hellhound is saying here. H-1B companies fire Americans and hire like third-party contractors because one, they don't have to worry about the responsibility of insurance and other things that are ancillary costs.
I'll keep making this stuff
employees. I'm not. I'm not.
You know what?
But hold on. I want to welcome also our brother Fearless. Finally, able to
I can speak on this. I can speak on this because I actually.
And you're a contractor.
Yeah, I mean, I've been quiet. Look,
hold on. Let me do this.
Hold on, Fearless. Hold on, Fearless.
Oh, go ahead.
Like Fearless and I can talk about this, man. Listen, for one, they are firing FTE workers to replace them with contractors. By hiring a contractor, you use third-party vendors, which will get them at a lower rate. And understand too, when they hire them, they provide them no benefits. So the typical benefits that you provide to an FTE, a contractor would never get that. So they're actually getting at a cheaper cost. So yeah, this whole notion that they're making more money, no, they're hiring more of those people at a cheaper rate versus hiring Americans, because hiring Americans you have to provide them with 401k benefits and all this good stuff. Versus when you hire a H-1B1, you just pay them by the hour. And what they do, they hire third-party vendors, and those vendors, what they do, they lowball them. So the vendors are taking a good bulk of their pay. So they probably hiring that Indian guy $30 an hour, where initially that contract is probably $112 an hour. Fearless, you could jump in.
But here's the thing. I'm sorry, brother. I'm on my family reunion, and I'm trying to get out to try to clear this up. You are right about the 5%, but what you didn't count was 40% are offshore. So if you have 5% plus 40%, that's 45% of the workforce being non-American. Your premise didn't make sense when you said I would either hire a black because I can pay him less. You can't, because you have two U.S. citizens going for the same position. You can't hire one at 100% or 50% less than you hiring the other for the same position. That's when you get into discriminatory laws. You can hire someone who is offshore for less money, but you can't hire a white person at 100,000 and a black person at 25,000 for the same position. You can hire an offshore person for 25,000 and an American citizen for 100,000. So your premise about why wouldn't I just hire a black person instead of hiring a white person would go out the door. You would get fined for discriminating. I know this. You can't say that because this is what I do. I showed Black Men Travelers. I do contracts and I hire foreign offshore and I hire H-1B1. And the laws become different. One reason we hire offshore is we can pay them less, no benefits. The time zone is different. So when we work during the day, they're off and we can have them working in the evening. Holidays are entirely different. We shut down during certain times. They are not. So we can pay less. We don't have to do all of the benefits, because when you look at someone's pay, it's not just your pay that you get on an hourly. You're right, Black Men Travelers. It includes all of your medical benefits, everything else that goes with it that is included in your pay, of which we don't have to do with any contractors, because it wouldn't make sense to say, well, let me hire some contractors out. The reason we can do contractors is because we're not responsible for no payroll, anything like that. So their pay actually is a lot less.
Okay. So it's still not the majority, and it's not illegal. And these companies are global companies, not local companies. So a lot of these companies are global. They sell products and services all over the world. McDonald's, let me give you an example. If McDonald's only hired Americans, how the heck could they operate in anywhere else in the world where they operate? They're global. They hire other people. Google, Microsoft, all these companies are global. So they hire global people also, not only Americans. And they still hire Americans. And then, two, it's their prerogative and it's their freedom. Even if I give you all the concessions that you make, them as a company and a corporation are allowed to hire who they want to hire. There's no rules in the United States of America. You have to show me where it says that they have to hire 100% of Americans, unless you're willing to get together and pass laws and legislation to create a rule that a corporation specifically has to hire 90%, 80% only born Americans and born for a certain amount of time. They're not breaking any laws. And so this whole notion of it's capitalism, it's da-da-da-da-da. No, small businesses are also capitalist. Small businesses are also mostly just Americans. There's opportunities out there for you. But instead of talking about the opportunities, you want to talk about the small group that's 5. But then y'all say, no, but it's really 40. And I give you the 40. And it's still not the majority. And it's still somebody else's company that has the right to run their company according to what they see fit. Who the heck are you to come up, and you don't even work for the company, number one, and then start redesigning how they need to hire at the end of the day? It's crazy.
I don't think that's the
It's
person's
lunacy.
argument. The person's argument, the gentleman that was on, was saying that we are, by using capitalism, we're hurting our own country because we're hiring people who don't have America's best benefit
What system?
at sight. So what we're
In what
doing is we're
system?
hiring people out. In what system? What do you mean?
Like, what system should we use then? This guy from Pakistani that's about to give us a new system in the United States of America.
You asked me a question. You asked me a question, so I answered the question.
The answer is a system of justice.
Let me talk.
No, okay.
The system that other people use is they don't care about the lowest common denominator. Usually what they do is they hire their own. If I go to a Chinese restaurant, we say, I'm hiring my own. Within the Jewish community, it doesn't matter. It does not matter that you can give a lower price. I'm gonna hire my own. The reason a lot of Black people cannot get into hair care products is because the Koreans said, you know what? This is ours. We don't care if you pay us even more money. This is our own. So they keep their wealth within inside of their own country or within inside of their own community. So the person was saying, in America, we do not. We rely more on capitalism and we go for the lowest dollar instead of saying, I want to promote Americans.
So we should have policies like South Africa. We should have policies like China, basically.
Well,
because they do the same thing, right? So I'm not against it, but
if you want a stronger American, yes. If you're looking for only the bottom line as a dollar, then you hire the lowest person.
We're strong now, though. You're making an argument as if we're not strong. So we're strong now, and all those countries that you give an example are not stronger than us. They have strengths. We have weaknesses. Economically, number one, because we're talking about economics. But what else? Other sectors would you like?
Hold on, let Philippi get on the point.
I was just trying to say, the United States and all countries are mixed economies. And I think Fearless was trying to get at was in terms of priorities as we implement our mixed economy. Some parts of our economy are purely capitalist, and some parts of our economy are socialist. And there's no doubt about that. Social Security is socialist. That TARP program that they had for the toxic assets, that was socialist, if not communist. That every country implements its priorities. And the issue that we're having now is that specifically with the amount of tax cuts that we've passed, which is deficit spending, that it now requires that our social programs be cut to pay for those tax cuts. And so what's actually happening is that the programs that the most vulnerable are dependent upon are being offered up to pay for the tax cuts. We had a cut in Medicaid, we had a cut in the Department of Education, and it goes on and on and on. Now, look, for the Black person or Black family that has been working hard and that has moved up in life, it's not going to affect them. But for the most vulnerable of our community, it will definitely affect them because they are more dependent on the social commons to make up for their lack of income. And so, I thought that the question in comparing things was celebrating the 4th of July, we're still the best, I think was the commentary. And I think that is true, but there are some of us that are being deeply hurt. And it's really kind of a question of, do we care about these people or not? And some of our group care, and some of our group do not. And
now, when you say these people, that dynamic, who are they that we speak? The lesser of our group in our community, or another group?
Here's it, to compare somebody like myself to when I first started my career as an attorney. I was actually working in the public schools. And specifically, my job was to terminate employees, expel children, and prosecute parents for truancy. I was the pilot person for all of, so I was kind of Dr. Death for, yeah, it was depressing. But regardless.
Sound like Snowball.
What I saw was, particularly with the truancy, very often the kids that were missing 150 to 160 days of school, and they're only 180, I think, in the whole school year, were kids that were almost overwhelmingly a single parent, usually a woman, but in many, many cases, it wasn't even the parents, it was the grandparents that were raising the children. And what happened was that whichever child their child was that was the parent, they were unable to parent, and so the grandparents stepped in, and the father may or may not have been involved from the very beginning. But the point being that a person like that, that's really dependent upon the school system to educate their child, because let's take the grandparent. The grandparent may or may not have finished high school. So if you're talking about trying to teach advanced math, advanced science, to go to these more high-paying fields, this person, while not impossible being the children, they're up against it. They have to have a lot of to overcome the hurdles that are in their way from the outset. So to your point, Ronin, that's who I'm talking about. It's not someone like myself, where both of my parents were college educated, and in fact, both of my grandparents were college educated and professional people, multi-generations of performance. And my great-grandparent was also a professional person. So it's not going to affect me, but the people that I described, it will definitely affect them.
Felipe, I have a question
go
for
ahead,
you.
Black Cleaner. I know you had to say something.
I had a question for Felipe. What year were you observing all of this?
I worked for the Chicago Public Schools from 1996 until 2004 or 5. I can't remember.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, go
the
ahead,
reason
Black
I was
Cleaner.
asking that is because, we've all seen, we all seen this reel where Dr. Umar is talking about what happened after Dr. King gets assassinated in 1968, where they're saying the government or the powers that be took a look to see who was funding Dr. Martin Luther King and all of these civil rights activists during that time. And they saw that it was the working class families and the middle class black families. And they was noticing that all of these middle class black families or working class black families were tradesmen or worked in the factories. So what did they do? They outsourced the factories overseas, and they took the trades out of the schools. So that allowed the black the black economy to start to diminish because they didn't have the training and the tools, or they didn't have the jobs that were in their neighborhoods. Because when my family what he was just talking about, my family came from the South during the Black migration in the 1940s, and they were able to work together. They all had different jobs working in the factories, shoe factories, even the bottling companies that they had up north. And they were able to not only buy property, but they was also able to own their own businesses, which was, corner stores and corner grocery stores, hair salons and all of that. But as soon as, they started taking the trades out of the schools in the 70s and, started, to push people to go to college instead of, going to trade schools and instead of doing the jobs at the Ford plant or at the shoe plant or at the chocolate plant. Now, all of a sudden, you start to see that the black family and the black neighborhoods are starting to diminish because there wasn't those things. And I understand, what 020 is talking about. He's saying, hey, all of that is all well and good. You still need to go tool up, but we still need to understand the history of where it came from. We can't just disregard all of that has happened to cause this to happen. We have to understand that has happened. And now where do we go from here? Because a lot of times, where people wake up in a fog and they don't understand that history. And all they know is that they're just in the middle of this, economic war that's being waged against them, and they don't know what to do. And then you just have the few that are able to wake up and see what's going on and be like a 020, you know what I'm saying? And I can include myself in that regard as well, because my father was one who was able to, make something out of nothing, just being a janitor, and then, becoming a pest control person and starting his own company. And then, we were able to move from there. But it was the knowing the history on what happened. And a lot of times when we try to start to research that and understand the history of what happened to us as a people, that's where people are like, never mind all of that, disregard all of that. We just need to be worrying about the now. And it's like, I need to know who hit me before I can figure out what I need to do later. You know what I mean? Or what I need to do right now. So I'm gonna land my plan there because I know I'm being long-winded.
No. You good. Hey, listen, I'm gonna speak straight through the panel, straight to any young black man that's listening to me. Listen, spend your time the way you want to, but I'm gonna tell you this. I'm not no ninja up here talking about I got a 6-figure job and that's how I got here where I am today. I learned the game and didn't hate the player. And at the same time, you could figure it out and you could do it yourself. There's nothing stopping you. That's my message. You can listen to history. You can do anything that anybody else said. The only thing that I'm saying is you have the opportunity and you have the power to do anything you want in this world. No one can stop you. And let me actually clarify. It's not that somebody's black or white or an immigrant. There's competition everywhere in the world. Your story's not special. Your struggle's not special. Everybody has it. Everybody has one, and the next man has something that's different. The only thing I'm saying is that you have to invest. A lot of these companies right now, these guys give away equity to employees. You keep trying to match these companies up with something from the past, and they're not the same. They pay you salary. They pay into your 401k. And then they also give you equity. These companies are vastly different than the ones of their own time. And if you don't fit in, Go build something of yourself. Go build your own slice. There's real estate that could be invested in. There's businesses that are going out of business or nobody's even wanting them. There's so many opportunities. I'm going to point you to the opportunities and show you how to map out the plan. Shout outs to Trump and Biden or anybody else who got a $10 million SBA loan that you can go get today to buy an existing business that already cash flow. You could do so much in this country. There's so much opportunities. Shout out to everybody who got their history and want to tell you about that. Go to them. They're the specialists at that. I'm specialized in that, getting results right now, right here. And it's not only me. They're going to try to make me out to be some super ninja. Like, oh, I'm just special. And oh, it's only me. That's what they're going to tell you. Oh, it's just him. You black. You come from a single mom. You poor. You can't do what obstacles did. He got lucky. Okay, that's their argument. My argument is I'm not special. I'm not Superman. I'm none of that. I'm a regular dude. I can't even spell like that unless I'm using the autocorrect. So I'm just regular, bro. I just focused on things that matter, that got me where I am here today. That's it. Nothing special about me. And once I started focusing on that, instead of trying to change the whole entire country, when I couldn't even change my own life, that's when I started to see the returns on investment, and I started leading by example. When other brothers saw me winning and they said, hey, brother, I listened to a lot of people, but I never seen nobody winning like you. What did you do? They shut up, and I laced them with game, and they ended up to get gains themselves and put themselves and their family in a great position. So it's not only me. It's everybody else who decided to listen to the game and decided to change their life and change their own actions. I can't help you to change the entire planet. I can only help you to change yourself, and only you have the power to do that. That's the end of my statement. I'm off.
Raw.
Happy 4th of July.
Right. All right. Anybody else is more than welcome to rebut that or even make another comment. We are in an open panel. Happy 250th Independence Day here in the United States of America. But I do have to say one thing as a disclaimer.
Before we step off, this is the Ronin Travelers podcast disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed on this show are for commentary, discussion, education, and entertainment purposes only. Nothing said here should be taken as legal, financial, medical, military, or professional advice. We discuss culture, travel, relationships, current events, history, business, and life through the lens of experience, discipline, and strategic observation. Some conversations may include strong opinions, hard truths, or uncomfortable perspectives. That does not mean every guest, caller, panelist, or platform involved agrees with every statement made. On this channel, we believe in doing no harm, thinking clearly, and leaving systems better than we found them. We speak from lived experience, but we also encourage every listener to verify information, do their own research, and make responsible decisions. This is not a battlefield. This is a briefing room. So listen with discernment. Think with discipline. Move with purpose. Welcome.
Everything is loaded.
To Ronin Travelers.
I'm headed your way. Is everything ready?
Check your gear. Clear your mind. Step forward with purpose. The mission continues. Let's get locked in. Ronin Travelers. Let's go! Get after it!
All right, and we're back. Thank you. I have to shout out my brother here, Philippi. He is the background music guy for that song, for that whole inspiration of that disclaimer there. But I got to play my other brother here.
Don't you listen to these funky ass niggas tell you shit.
Wow, it was dope. And let me just say, I love what Financial Frontier is saying. I think that we need more people to put that message forward, that there are opportunities and it really is getting out of your own way. I think that that's very cool. So great video, Ronin. And You know.
Hey, your music
Cool.
was the inspiration for that. And I was like, yo, this is a good background song for me to put that disclaimer up and kind of have it all smooth and suave. But everybody still asking me where we're going. Stay tuned for that. I got another video coming up on my evac plan. But we can continue the conversation. I don't know, some people dropped off or.
Well, happy 250th. How many of us are actually in the States celebrating it on the panel?
At least 3. You got Black Man Travels, Fearless, and Philly.
Yeah, I'm in LA.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so half of us. All right. Well, happy Independence Day to you all.
All right. Shout out to Sunday Night Smoke, who's in the chat. Appreciate you stopping in, bro. You're more than welcome to join the panel. I know you're a wise and enlightened brother. So anything you want to add, this is an open panel or open topics on anything that you'd like to discuss at the time, anything going on in current events, things that are going on within our community or outside of it, does not matter. But with that, we can continue on with the conversation. I think everybody's taking a breather real quick. That's why I'm glad I put that little disclaimer up. Give everybody a second to get a breath, go take a piss. Because sometimes I have to turn my camera off and go to the bathroom. I'm not so young anymore. I ain't holding shit. I'm going
It was a good intermission, Roman. Good intermission.
And I say this, I have no problem with OPO said. My only issue is that I think sometimes we still have to recognize that there are boundaries that are put up for us that are not put up for others. Even with, I'm down celebrating a family reunion down in the heart of Mississippi, where it was a struggle. And we talked as a family, and each of our family members, and I'm talking about a doctor, one is a PhD, OBGYN, and we discuss amongst our family, because we have certain mottos about faith, family, and education. And even within those people who are highly educated, there are still struggles, and we see the boundaries. Example, one who's the PhD was at a university. They opened up a new wing, and one of her responsibilities was hiring RAs. And out of the 24 RAs, she hired 16 that were Black, qualified, but Black. And she got called in to say, why you got all these minorities here? Now, if they were all white, no one would have questioned them. And after 2 years, they just didn't renew her contract. Now, when she questioned and said, hold on, well, who do you want me to rescind the letter to off of this? Because these are all the people on the list and they're all qualified. It was just like, well, we'll find another way around to limit you. My other one who works, my cousin who works at Mississippi State, who is the PhD, she says she even has to mentally think how many minorities I can bring on, even though they're qualified, to bring on to their internship program. They go out to all places across Mississippi and help them automate, because she gets questioned. So yes, you do have the possibility to go anywhere, but the people in charge still try to limit your ability to. And I think I've had this conversation within my organization. If I look up all the names of all the outsourced people and all I have, I'm in tech, I do cyber and cloud engineering. If I look down the line, I'm the only Black in there. And I said, man, if I wanted to hire 75% Black people, it would be, they would look a little different. I'll be questioned. If I hire 75% Indians, it wouldn't even bat an eye. If I hire 75% white, it wouldn't even bat an eye. They wouldn't question the qualifications of those people I hire. So even the people in the positions that are not the gate opener or the gatekeepers, it becomes difficult for us to even bring in people, because we are scrutinized.
Yeah, and I'd like to piggyback on that as well, because I got my roommate. She actually is a recruiter for IT workers, and she would have issues similar to that. And it's not even based on hiring, because normally she's only gonna interview and then decide the salary for the people that they have, chosen to recruit and hire. Now, of course, she sees the salaries that come across the desks of, a lot of the candidates. And like Fearless was saying, when it's a white person, or it might even be an Indian person, they might not bat an eye at giving that person that salary. But as soon as it's a black or brown person, and she's trying to give them the equal salary negotiation, now all of a sudden, why are you giving them the top of the budget? And then she would say, well, all I'm doing is giving them the same salary that you allowed Sally to get, who y'all hired 2 weeks ago. What's wrong with that? And then all of a sudden, her higher ups or the people, they would get all silent, and she would have to actually go to her supervisor, who's also black, to discuss it, and then have her fight the battles. So yeah, it definitely, there is, a lot of gatekeeping that does go on, even not in just hiring, but even how much they want to pay, minorities.
You know what's interesting, Ronin? One time in my history, and I get everything that everybody's saying. Don't think that I don't understand. And why people always say, like, what I say is nice, and then they follow up with after information. Look, I get it. I was there one time. I remember I was in somewhere in, I think it was Israel, working at the U.S. Embassy. And I remember sitting around a table, about 5 highly educated black people, and they were talking about stuff like this. And then I remember the next time we met, next week, they were talking about stuff like this again. Then I remember the next week we met up, and it kept repeating itself. And then one day I kind of sat there after reading Dr. Amos Wilson. Shout outs to him. If you don't know him, then you need to go find out. And I sat there and I realized this whole time we keep talking about these folks and this trap. And I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying, what are we going to do about it? So I tried to get the black people together, right? To like buy real estate or buy some assets. Let's get together. You can ask the friends who know me. I pulled together 8-10 brothers, and then I had them send all money, and we used in group economics and etc. And a lot of them are doing very successful today because they said, hey man, you taught me what to do with my economics, and I changed my life and my family's life. And I try to instill that on the rest of the family, but they think different. But anyways, fast forward. The same people that was holding that conversation are still holding those same conversations. And today, I sit in a vastly different position than them because I decided to take control of my life. When you log on to Charles Schwab, for the educated folks, it doesn't discriminate on who the hell you are. One day, people are going to look up and you own a majority share or stake in the company, and they have no choice to succeed to what you're doing. See, my objective, and again, this is just my prescription. I'm not saying it's the prescription, but one that I do offer to the actual congregation, say amen, hallelujah, is that if you go out here and own assets and buy everything up, nobody can stop you. And one of the great things, and I'm specifically talking to the black group, is a lot of these people in other groups are not doing that. A lot of them are wasting their money. A lot of them are misusing their money. So the time is now, shout outs to the Asians, which own the majority and the highest net worth in the United States of America. It's because they mostly have public equities and they invest and open up individual brokerage accounts, because I did the numbers. So at the end of the day, you can change your trajectory by owning a corporation or forever end up like the friends I know that continue to talk about it. And I'm not saying stop talking about it. See, this is the difference between me and Fearless. I didn't say, Fearless, what I don't agree or what I think you should do. Do what you do, because it's not like you're trying to fight against me or anybody else that's trying to be successful in life. You believe you're fighting for a just cause. I just have a different approach, and I don't stop or deter you from doing what you do. It does need to be shed on, and light needs to be shared on the situation. So keep saying what y'all are saying. But I'm also saying to do, maybe possibly, if you want to, what I am saying also to add on to that. Or you cannot. The choice is yours. That's just my position. But I don't have an opposition to what you're saying. That is the difference between me. I don't say you're wrong.
Before you rebuttal, let me ask this.
It's not a rebuttal. I do agree.
Wait, Black Cleaner, hold on. I just want to ask. I mean, even with that one scenario about the black woman hiring, I've been in plenty of positions in corporate America where I have the ability to hire, fire, and make my own decisions on building teams and everything else. Even while I was in the military, obviously, as you pick up rank, you have the decision of what teams you're building and how you're structuring them. Okay, I would have to say the person that did the hiring, whether it be your family member or not, were they very purposeful in the way they chose their candidates that they interviewed for the hire? Or did they choose an agency that allowed them to send all kind of applicants, and then again purposeful in picking out only the ones of color versus the ones maybe they all had the same eligibility, white, black, Indian, didn't matter, and she purposely picked out of the bunch all black candidates? That shows a clear idea of your intention when you go to hire. When I was in the military, I was put in all kind of situations where I had to set up teams, and I set up different crews to do certain things. And while I knew the military is very racist, how I got around that, instead of putting all black people in one group and white people in another group, I literally would have a group of intermixed people, but the black person would be the one in charge. Now you can't say I discriminated. I only just put a black person, even though everybody was of equal capability, I put that one in charge. Instead of hiring all black people, if you put the key people in the right positions to run the organization or run the position, then it doesn't look like you're being one-sided. But to hire 60 or 70% of the new hires in one culture, one country, one type of personality, yes, it looks like you're being preferential in your treatment of the application and everything else. So now the company has to look at you like, are you really trying to find the best candidates for us? Or are you trying to make a point based on who you are? And if that's not the benefit of the company, then they don't give a fuck. They're going to find a way to get you out of there.
But they never question when it's the other ethnicity. That's if everyone was questioned,
I'm
and this is where I say
the inside information. Did she purposely do that? Did she look for black people only to do that?
I'll give her the benefit of the doubt and say yes.
Okay.
But here's the thing: white people do that all the time. White people say that's somebody's uncle or somebody's cousin that I knew, and that's how they got in there. Or Asians look for Asians.
Whose companies are they?
It's a public company because it's public because it's a public school. So it's our company.
Who do they think the company belongs to?
White people always think the company belongs to them. Exactly. I mean, that's how it always is.
So
but no, it should be.
You got to be
but it should not be. It should not be exactly, and it shouldn't have to be purposeful. Because if the people are still qualified, then they're still qualified. If you give me a list and it has those people that qualified, and it's qualified. And the other part that I'm saying is, I'm not saying that it's incorrect. I'm saying that sometimes we start from a different position, and other times, because I've been in the room, and when they think you one of them, you get the other information that they don't give out to everyone else. And so sometimes when you're in the room, think
you're one of them,
they give you the information that they don't give out to everyone else. And so I've seen it,
I'm shaking my head, and you're shaking your head because you know, as light-skinned people, we get confused. They get confused on who we are, and if we're on their side or not.
It's not even light skin. It's just the fact that I think the lack of sometimes it's not if you qualified. It's not this. It's sometimes you just don't. No, you just don't have the information. Oh, I know what I did. I know what I did. I'm gonna tell you what I did. I did a video on this, and I'm releasing. And this was about my grandparents, because this will help you out, Ronin, because you into the whole life. But I'll give you the quick synopsis of the story. In the South, how they used to do insurance, somebody always came to your door. They come to your door, they knock on your door, hey, you need this insurance.
Yeah.
They bought the insurance. Now, they were only given one choice because they didn't know the other choice. The one choice was the whole life insurance that you're good for. But with that, they was paying a higher premium, and the market, I'll give a number. They was paying $300 a month. And so they say they only had still a $50,000 payout when they died. A term life insurance would have paid $30 a month and still had the same part. At the end of their life, they thought they were doing the right thing, but the check was only 50,000. If they would have took that $30, put it in term life, took the other 270, put it into S&P 500,
Right.
that check wouldn't have been 50,000. It would have been,
That
500,000.
was a lot more, right?
So the issue isn't, oh, I don't know it or I don't do it. Sometimes the limitation is the information was never presented to you. You don't know even know the option. You didn't know that there was a plan B. You thought this was the best plan because that's how it was. So the ignorance or the not knowing, and I say that even when you go to corporations, sometimes they don't know. They don't know. Oh, that's how it is. Why is it like that? Well, why did you do it like that? Like it took somebody for me to say years ago when I first started that I was using my HSA incorrectly. They're like, no, brother, don't never. You pay out of pocket for your HSA. Don't never do that. That's the best tax thing because you never pay the money going in, you never pay the money going out, and you never pay the growth. Let that grow. I didn't know that. I just thought you get the medical bill in and you pay. But it was somebody who gave me the information that nobody ever else expressed. So sometimes it's our ignorance, and in the other echelon, that information is shared. Whether it's investment tips, whether it's, hey, this is how you do properties, that investment is shared, and that information is, I wouldn't say prevented. It's more difficult for us to get it because sometimes we don't even know the question to ask. Meaning, like my grandparents, they just didn't know the question to ask. They didn't know there was multiple insurance policy. They did not know the question, and that's what is at our detriment. Is we haven't even been in the game long enough to know, oh, that's the question I asked. And that information isn't volunteered.
And think about how many vets are on this show right now who weren't given the information on how to increase your disability. I mean, but there was plenty of people who came before them that were of a different hue or whatever that was given that information and was probably, getting a whole bunch of, increase, not only just increases, but, also other, uses for their VA benefits and, home, what is it? The home loan, what's the other, aid and attendance, all of those different other benefits that they talk about. Because I know that was one of the things that happened with my father. He got out of the military in 1960. He was a part of the occupation, the Korean War. He was stationed in Okinawa. He was 82nd Airborne. He was getting 20% disability all the way up until I got 20% disability. So he was getting disability for about 40, 50 years. It wasn't until, my cousin who got out of the Air Force and started, talking to his people who worked in customs, who are also vets, who started letting them know, yo, do you know that you can get increases? There are other things that you can do in order to get, other benefits, your aid in attendance and all of these different other benefits. He didn't know about none of that stuff. He died 84 and didn't get the and when he died, he got an increase to $2,400 a month. But they was like, oh, well, you're dead now. So of course they just, stopped all of his benefits.
Yo, so I want to add this into the conversation. This is why, Ronin, one of the big reasons I invest in Alphabet is not just to make money. It really saved me. It made me the man I am today. Because I didn't know anything about financial literacy. I didn't know anything about how to develop real estate. But guess what? I just typed into this thing called technology, called Google.
Right.
And it took me on the path. Self-educated. Right. Nobody came along and gave me anything. I just knew I was broke. And I asked Google, like, I'm broke. How do I not be broke? You know what I'm saying? And then it started stacking things called money management. Then it started saving things like a savings. Then I was like, oh, all right, cool. How do I save? Okay, what's the downfalls of credit card? You get what I'm saying? So I just built on that. I just Googled it. There was no white man that came out the clouds and it imparted this information on me. It was literally me just having technology. Again, I'm not saying nothing to my great grandma or my great grandfather. I'm not saying nothing to them, right? Because I think you had to go to the library and the library only had a limited amount of books. You get what I'm saying? So, and I think even to open a portfolio, you had to have 50 grand. So it was very different. But right, fractional reserving, Google and YouTube University really made me. So I don't have that education from any school. I don't have any degree. Mine's is from YouTube University. It was all self-educated and self-taught. And while everybody looked at me like I was ignorant because I did not have a degree, right? Because I did not have a BS or did not have a master's degree or a PhD, while everybody threw parties for people who graduated from college because, you know, they're the successful ones, right? I self-educated the whole time and doubled down on YouTube University because I was like, look,
but the other thing you also did financial.
Well, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question, though.
Wait. The other thing you did, Financial Frontier, that we talked about the other day on the live was mentorship. You listen to the older guys and the guys who are in the game, and you learn from them directly. That circumvents every educational thing you can possibly do because that's lived and learned experience from people that were doing it, that were in the game doing it straight up. That's the other thing. This was the thing about that mentorship. You're seeking your own information. You also sought the wisdom of mentorship from others as well.
And I had to go find those mentors and then add value to them because they weren't just handing out value, you know, just to anybody who walked up for begging for it, right? So I had to actually be able to discern that too, be able to understand what it is to go find a mentor, add value to a mentor, and then hopefully get some skill sets out of that. And one of the things that I did not tell ever a mentor is, I don't agree with you. I think we could do it different. You see what I'm saying? A lot of people are arrogant in that way. Where if you come to them and they be like, well,
the minute you started an argument, I ain't got time to waste with you.
So what happens usually? The teacher appears when the student is ready. So it's not about having a lack of information all the time. I didn't say never. But at the end of the day, a desire and a drive. And that's the nugget. Because some people are really sitting around thinking it's the lack of information from the reason why they won't progress. I didn't have the information. I just had the drive to go find the information. We found a lot of things. Discovery is a part of the human evolution, to go find and discover things. They usually just didn't come to us. We had to go and find it and seek it. And I think that's a untapped power that most people don't understand that they have. And that's what I like to add to the conversation.
But sometimes it's not even understanding the question. I don't know how the military works, so if I give a bad analogy, please forgive me. But if I went in and they said, oh, you got this 85% or 50% disability, and that, you know, that's what was said. If I don't know that, I should have asked this or I could have gotten this, I would think that that was it. Because nobody told me that's otherwise. That's how it is.
I never go to somebody and think they have all the answers. And so even if I went to one source to get information and they told me something, I say,
I'm saying like the doctor, how does it work in the military? I mean, I don't know how it works. So I'm saying if you go to your physician.
Let me say this real quick. And I did this while you guys were talking. You see those two words? Ignorance versus trusting. Okay. Are we ignorant, or as a people are we too trusting in the information that's
we are? I would say we're trusting.
We don't know how to call people to the table in order to verify, like we do in here. Give me your stats. Give me the percentages on why I should go this direction instead of some other direction. Why should I?
I would say we're trusting.
And that's why the Department of Labor commissioned back in the 1920s how to sell to Black Americans, because of how many trillions of dollars was in our community specifically. We are too trusting in the information that is given to us, and we're more trusting of the skin tone of the person telling us.
Yep, I agree with that. I agree.
And especially, I understand that they might have been misled, but are we as a people? We need to challenge ourselves on why, and we do this in our rooms wholeheartedly. We'll do this in our room, but when it comes down to real life, if a white person or somebody of light skin told you something and he was a real good salesman at the way he projected it, are you just taking his word for it? You're going to dig in.
So see, here's the thing. When I say this, I'm not talking about me. I question everything.
No, I know that. I know that. I'm talking in general to everybody that's listening.
But I observe our people. And through that observation, I see, oh, well, somebody told them that. If somebody tells you some information that you never knew, you think it's the greatest. If you were putting money into a savings account and you were getting 0.5%, and somebody said, hey, why aren't you putting that into an HSA, or high yield savings? You're going to get 4%. They think that's the end of the road because you just got them so much more. That was the greatest thing. That person told me that. But they didn't tell you, oh, you needed to invest. You needed to do this. We only got that information and thought that was the end of the road because that's all we knew. Now, I won't challenge you on this, OPO, but I'll ask this. You did a great job researching and finding that. Do you think that there's still information that YouTube couldn't tell you? There's somebody out there is gatekeeping, that a Warren Buffett or whomever, it is, that they still know the secrets you don't. And what you could have made $100,000 doing, you could have made $1 million. And when I take that and I roll it down, that's the HSA versus the S&P 500. You made a great salary money with the information you were able to find. And I'm saying to you, what if you found out later on that what you did was only 10% of what you could have made because somebody didn't inform you or tell you the other ways of what you could have made the million? And no matter, and you just didn't know the question to ask to get there.
Again,
That's
I never put my
right there.
yeah. Shout outs to that. And again, this is what I'm saying, and this is my prescription, and this is why I'm laying it down for people who want to follow. And if you don't agree, don't want to follow, cool. But what I'm saying is, I got a 52% over a decade plus. So that's up high and very rare for any investor to have those type of results. 10 baggers, 15 baggers. So I know what I've actually cultivated. You can ask my girl, you can ask anybody that know. I'm arguing with LLMs all day. I'm arguing with Grok. I'm trying to figure out what's the next situation. Prior to that, I was looking on blue links called, Google. So at the end of the day, even in real estate, I was always searching for the information. So watch this. I even say, when I was doing industrial, I was doing house hacking. I called up the VA and told him I knew how to house hack a commercial property with a VA loan. The guy called me and said, hey, I've been working here for 15 years and only 2 people have ever called my phone and asked me about this small line item in the entire handbook of the VA. How the hell did you figure it out? I said, because I looked it and I read it. He said, oh my gosh. And the 2 people was me and some other guy almost 10 years ago. And so with that, when I went to go find my Jewish partners and the partners that I built a real estate investment firm with, and I got into industrial real estate, it wasn't happenstance. I found everybody. I found that investor. I found that successful person. I've cultivated a relationship with them. So along the way, I've always searched. I've always had an inside drive and desire. I've never been good enough. Once I got, let's say, 5% or 4%, I was getting CD money. So at a certain point, I had CDs in my Navy Fed, and then I just sat there and was like, man, is there a way I could do better? Is there other things? And then I kept studying. Then I was in real estate, getting a 12%. Then I leveled up. But there were so many people that I did real estate with. Now watch this. I did real estate deals with them. We were both talking real estate. And when I told them, hey, man, you could buy, rehab, rent, and refinance instead of selling properties, instead of flipping, he was like, where'd you learn that at? I went to go search it. I kept searching, but he was just good enough with his returns and where he was. I'm not saying he's wrong.
Well, that's his problem. No, that's his problem.
That's his prerogative.
But what you did was you gave him the information. Now, if whatever they do with them, I can't.
Exactly.
If you're giving somebody the information and they don't use it, that's on them. My problem is some people didn't even know that. Like, where did you learn that from?
Fearless. But Fearless, that's the biggest point.
I didn't have it
on all these channels. Listen, that's the biggest point that we all need to make. On all these channels we have between Financial Frontier, yours, Black Man Travelers, mine, and others like ours, we give out so much free game, so much free information, and it falls on deaf ears. So many hours spent on wisdom, mentorship, money matters, this, that, and the other thing.
And this is what I'm saying with OPO. This is what I hate. This is what I hate about it. This is what I hate. And he said something that triggered. He had to be the first. And I'm not mad that you had to be the first because you did it. My thing is those other will never have to be the first because they already knew. You started at first base. They were already starting at third. And I'm saying that's the discrepancy where you had to do all of that research just to get where somebody already knew. It's like,
but
and I'm not mad.
I know you used the word. I know, but you used the word. That's what I hate. Maybe you want to rephrase.
No,
I don't know if that's what you actually meant.
Not hate with you. I'm saying I hate
that you had to do it. That triggered him.
Correct.
That you
okay, I get it.
Yeah, that's why I had to go out and be the first person to do it. That information should have been readily available. That 10 years that you had to do, that should have been right there.
Listen. Here's the thing. Why focus on that instead of focus on the fact that he's willing to give it out to everybody else?
No, he's cool about that. He's just saying the fact that I had to do the 10-year thing. But Fearless, hear me out when I say this. Remember, my name used to be Obstacles to Opportunity. I love that I came from the roots I came from. I will never bat my eye that my mom was a single mom and I didn't have a father. I love that for me. That made me the beast I am today. And there's no man who had anything handed to him could kill me on any battlefield. And I really mean that in the heart. That's why I'm the top 1% globally. I have a drive that nobody else has because I had hunger. And that's what keeps me going. So I don't want nothing handed out to me. I've seen those stories too many times. Let's look about it. 90% of generational wealth by the third generation is a failure. Those have been handed something.
That's why I talk about
I had to earn. Every single year I spent deserving what I got was a year I got skilled. I got hard. I got smarter. I got more intelligent. I cultivated guts, risks. Like this, and I saw more for my limitation. I didn't even see a limit at a certain point. So I love that I had to have those 10 years. And by the time I caught up to that guy, I was doing 155 and he was cruising at 100 because his daddy set him on cruise control. So it's an entirely different type of game that I'm playing, and I zip past him and he'll never catch up. So that's why I love my story. I would never have it any other way. I don't want to hand out, and I don't feel no way that his daddy or whoever handed out or whatever he fell into or was given the information. It makes me a better competitor because I had to cultivate the information. I have different skills that he will never have.
We're all. What I don't like about our people is this:
we're all born with separate cards. Is what you're dealt with, and how you deal with the hand that you're dealt is what makes you who you are. You're not.
Yeah, but here's the problem with our people. Here's the problem with our people. We know the cards, and sometimes we play them all wrong. If Obstacles gave this brother some information that he didn't know and he didn't use it, that is sometimes the majority of problems with our people. Yeah. Sometimes we know the answer and we still don't use it, which that's the person you can't help. It's like, man, I gave you.
You got the crab in the barrel mentality where you know the information you don't want to share because you want to be the HBIC.
Yeah.
The head nigga in charge.
I think that Fearless hit on something that is relevant, particularly for the 4th of July, and it's a cultural issue, and you just hit on it, Ronin. I know I watched a thing about the small hats, and this guy explained how their circular economy worked. Right. There also is a movie called The Donut King, where it's about, in Los Angeles, the Cambodian donut shop owners. And basically their motto is each one, teach one. So these are people that are not related to one another other than they're from Cambodia. And what Fearless put his finger on that I think is worthy of discussion is the lack of culture to each one teach one more. Now, I have an answer to why that exists, but I don't know if the solution is going to be forthcoming. I believe that we don't have an each one teach one as much in the Black community.
Yo, Fearless, you got to mute your background
Oh,
noise.
I'm sorry, brother. I'm outside, sitting outside a hotel.
Yeah, that's not good. That the meritorious manumission laws only released 1 or 2 slaves a year, and so that set up a, for each plantation they would set up these manumission people who had to prove value for whites to gain their freedom. You can look at the laws at any time, but the point is, it created a mentality among many blacks not to trust each other because they were competing for the opportunity to get their freedom at the end of the year. And so even when people have knowledge and know-how, among some of us, there's a reluctance to share that knowledge. Now, a beautiful thing is that Financial Frontier has been consistent for years, ever since I've seen him as obstacles to opportunities and beyond, that he's really been trying to teach people and help people. And that's great. Unfortunately, for a lot of us, though, there is a kind of page one rewrite with each generation. And that, I don't know if we're going to be able to solve it, because it's a deep-seated, multi-generational problem of not trusting not only your own family members, but also beyond your family. And that actually goes back to, I think, something you were talking about, Ronin, of when you're selecting people to put together a team and so on and so forth. And one of the issues that you have in corporate is when you're asked to co-sign other people. You want to bring them on the team.
Oh, that's a big one.
And, it gets real tough, because if you co-sign them and then they clown,
yep.
It makes people reluctant to reach out their hand and help.
And I think obstacles goes by a different one, which I don't know, I'm gonna put words in his mouth, which I would agree with. I can't say each one teach one. I would almost say each one teach the one who want to learn, because you can't teach everybody. I mean, the information can be there, but if you spend the majority of your time trying to teach someone who is unwilling to listen or always against what you're trying to do, instead of just let me share this information, you'll spend majority of your time trying to help people who not ready or don't want to be helped, when you could actually spend the majority of your time helping someone who is receptive to what you want.
Well, there's 2 things to that. There's 2 things to that. Number one, of course, everybody thinks different. I mean, you have some people that think, lineal, because I'm a lineal thinker. Okay, you got people who think spatial, and you got some people that think emotional. So that's number one. Number 2, we're all on different dynamics. And I talked about this last week on my live, where, I was saying, you got the first dynamic where they're, focusing on survival of themselves. And then once they master being able to get out of that dynamic and they're able to take care of themselves, then they, look for a mate. And then when they get out of that dynamic, they trying to help their people. And a lot of us are stuck in that dynamic of trying to help our people. And then you have, other people who are saying, okay, well, I mastered, or I'm done trying to help my people. I'm just going to try to help the human race. And that's the fourth dynamic. And when you start to get, when you start to understand these dynamics and master these dynamics, the greater you become. But a lot of things that I see is that when you're looking at the younger generation or these other people who are not wanting to, take the information that's given, it's a lot of times because they're looking at the messenger and they're saying, do I really want to be the messenger, look like the messenger or become what the messenger has become? Because I put out a lot of information and then they look at me and they're like, well, you're a janitor. I'm not trying to be no janitor. Oh, you live in you only live in a townhome. I'm not trying to live in a townhome. I want to live in a mansion. I want to drive a G4. And I'm like, okay, well, fine. Go seek that mentor and see what he's doing. And a lot of times that mentor might be wearing a dress. Yeah, well, yeah, you can live like I'm living, but you got to put this dress on. You want and some of them will actually do that in order to get those things that mentor wants. But go ahead, I'll leave it alone right there.
Black Glitter. Hey, but you was cooking. You was cooking with vibranium. Hey, I gotta let the lovely cleaning ladies clean the studio, so I'm about to go. But
right,
one of the things that I did want to say, and I'll always be going in on China, and I love America, y'all guys know. But out of respect to the actual Chinese people, even though I'm not a part of them, I do respect their hustle. At one point, they were considered certain types of people be very low in the world order. They used to have a saying, not a Chinaman's chance.
Mm-hmm.
And within a generation, they changed that. Now, people could go back and forth about how they did it. But they were a part of the story that showed me that whites are not Thanos. They don't have an infinity stone where they control the universe and just snap their finger. You have the control on what your destiny is. And I took a little bit of that story and many other cultured people's story, plus the United States of American story, and cultivated into the man I am today. Everybody has free will. So regardless of what I say, or what Fearless says, or what Ronin says, or the brother over here, Lindsay, says in Black Cleaner, even though he's a well-structured janitor, shout out to the big homie, right? Let's not undermine what he was doing, right? But at the end of the day, they have free will. And all I decided, regardless of what Black people, white people, Americans decide to do, is all that I can do is be the best that I could be in this one given life. And whoever decides to pick up some small nuggets that I dropped on the ground, whether it's 5% or 100% of what I said, it is their choice and their free will. That is the legacy of deeds that I leave behind. Shout outs to Lindsay, as he said, I've been leaving and dropping this game for a very long time. I didn't get it to perch in Thailand and in the condo with my linglings and say, hey, be gone, peasants. I'm out here spending my time dedicated to pass on information, to stop the gatekeeping. So at the end of the day, you can do anything that you do, just like we told you when you was young, but we stopped telling you when you got older. So shout outs to Ronin, shout outs to all the brothers on the channel for being here. Shout outs to United States of America and our independence. And the Marine Corps is the only military in the world.
Right. Say that again.
Ooh, rah. Shout outs to all the brothers. Hey, Fearless, get in the hotel and get your chill on, man. We heard you, my brother. Go back to living the good life. Peace out, brothers.
Hey, salute to you, brother. I appreciate you at all times. Hey, real quick, let me touch on some things that were just said here just recently amongst the brotherhood here. There's a lot of different ways of learning. People learn spatially, linear. They think different ways. Emotionally, they learn by visualization. They learn by verbal modes or combination thereof. And people learn out of desperation. They're forced to learn because they're hungry. It's life or death. You, as somebody that's a trainer, somebody that's an influencer, a mentorship type of thing, like Fearless was saying, you can teach them until they're blue in the face, but if they don't actually utilize some of the things that you're trying to teach them, then you're wasting your time. And that's even as me going through the military, me as being a corporate trainer and going through different infrastructures as executive management and so on. And then even getting into the insurance game where I owned an agency and I was running almost 300 agents and tens of thousands of fucking clients. At a certain point, you have to set limits to the investment of your time in teaching. Okay. So this is where you get into your time management and what you're willing to invest in and your rate of return on your time and your value. As I was educating people and training them in insurance and different things in sales, I would set limits. And one of the things I would do is set off the rules. Look, if I'm teaching you something, I'd better see a pen and I better see a fucking pad. First thing you need to write on there is when I'm talking to you about the date and time. Keep it organized. I had to structure people on how to take fucking competent notes. Okay. I'm only going to repeat myself twice with anybody. Literally while I was teaching. I'm only going to repeat myself.
Funny, Ronin,
hold on, let me finish. So I would set a limit like that. So first time I talked to her, I said, okay, what did I train you on? Oh, you said this is where's your notepad? Let me see it on your notes. Okay. I'll go back over and teach you again. Revise your notes so you understand it the next time when you get stuck. Okay, you got it? Yeah, I got it. I walk away. Right? Now, if somebody wanted to feel sympathy for that person after I told them the second time, they came back and Thursday, I don't remember how to do that. Did you not take notes? Yeah, show me your notes. Okay, it's right there in black and white. How come you don't know how to refer to your own fucking notes that you wrote in your own penmanship? You get what I'm saying? Now it's a waste of my time because you wrote it down. You should have been comprehensive enough to understand what you wrote in that fucking book in your own handwriting, not my own. It's not a piece of paper I printed out for you to read and throw away and disregard. You took the time and effort to write it in your handwriting, right? So after that, I stopped investing my time because I'm looking for a rate of return for my time, especially if I'm training agents to be like me and make money for me because I'm not investing my time in making my own actual sales. I need to make sure my agents are making time and selling and doing things competently where they're closing enough business to replace what I'm not doing for myself. So at a certain point, you got to understand who's a fucking loss and who's going to make you money. And that's the discernment as you go through life. You got to understand what's a worthy time of your investment and what's not. And after a while, you just got to fold up shop and say, you're going to die on the vine. You survive on your own. And if you get hungry enough, and if it's a life or death situation, maybe you'll pick it up. But right now, you're not focused on what I'm trying to teach you. So go learn something else. And I would let it go. I'm not going to think twice about whether you make it or not. And your investment in your time. What I'm going to do is value my investment and my time on the people that want to learn. And that is by demonstrating to me that you're listening and learning from what I'm saying. Okay, go ahead, Phil.
I'm gonna give you some pushback, Ronin, and this may or may not be true, but I'm gonna piggyback on what the gentleman said.
Okay.
And I did the same thing he said is what I said to my family, and then I had to go back and do some realization.
Mm-hmm.
He said we always start all over. Every generation, we always start from scratch, and that's true. But then I said, why? And I said one of the reasons why is I'm not even starting at home. I said, man, I talk to these guys every day about, man, your 401k, your HSA, how you make this money, how you put this in, how you do a convert. And I said, you know what? I don't even tell my wife this. I said, so what if I died tomorrow? One, she wouldn't know where all the money yet. And if she got all the money from my insurance, this should be gone because I have not taught her how to do it.
Correct.
So with our children, we say, I was guilty of it, and I think I've been guilty of it. They just supposed to learn through osmosis. Like somehow I never sat down with them and do it. And I had to change that up with my wife and say, you know what? We got to have Financial Friday. I got to take you through why I'm doing something, why this happens, and I got to show you how to do money. And I think we don't do that with our children. You know, we just expect that they should know it. We give them a tad bit of knowledge, and it's not that we withholding it. We have a lifetime of knowledge, and we think by saying one sentence they should get it. Use your credit right. Well, what's that really mean? I don't know.
Right.
Make sure you invest. What's that mean? And I said, I gotta not do that. I gotta go step by step by step. Whether you have children, you should do it with your girl Ronin. Like, all right, so how are you doing this with the AI? Because now you can have somebody trained as a partner to take care of what systematic things you can do.
Funny you say that.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what I'm doing? Not only is she learning AI little by little, but I'm also teaching them not only about American history, but the treatment of our specific culture and why there's differences in how different people believe, the speech and structure of English. As we go through things, everything's a learning lesson. Everything is some kind of education towards what I do, why I say certain things, why certain things are being done. I am constantly, because here's the thing that I understood even coming here. I'm getting ready to introduce her to not only a world that she's never been introduced to before, I'm exposing her to the type of income she's never could have imagined even being in the environment of. And I'm taking her innocence by interjecting her into those scenarios because she lives in a fucking province. Okay? She's never been experienced to anything besides what was on her cell phone. I'm literally injecting her into a world that all she has exposure to is from a fucking cell phone. And I have to be conscious in what I'm doing when I do that. So yeah, absolutely. You're absolutely right. You should be introducing all those concepts and why certain things are done. And even now, she buys bags right now and she resells them. You know, and I said, what's your profit margin on that? Why are you selling at this amount? Well, you know, like I got them for this dirt cheap price. I said, that's great. But each quality of the bag and everything else, the value should be set at this. Even if you have your mom, and she's industrious. She has her mom and her sister selling these bags as well. All right. So what's your profit margin on these? If you bought them for this for bulk, now you're selling them individually. But if you assess each bag for the quality of the bag, you shouldn't sell this bag for no less than this amount. And
but another thing you said,
understand the structure behind that, then she's like, okay, I get it. Yeah, it doesn't matter what you bought it for. And yes, you're still going to make a profit if you only sell one bag. But the point is, you're doing this as a business. Every bag should have a set price.
another thing you should do, Ronin, and I'm gonna challenge you for this because I heard you say it, but you aren't doing it. And I'm not saying in a bad way because I'm not.
No.
You said when you talk to your people, you said where your notepad at.
Mm-hmm.
My question to you is where your notepad at? And not in a bad way, because I had to say this. I said, man, I got all this knowledge.
Bruh, look.
I haven't written it down.
I'm seriously telling you, every line.
Exactly.
That's what I'm doing. I take notes on every line.
Yeah, we should be writing down. You have all that knowledge on what to do. We should be within our own self writing on out. We got AI. We should just say to AI, hey, I want you to start with this lesson and give me that lesson and based on my knowledge, and I want you to give me a summary. And that's what we should be passing on to our next generation.
And listen, all my listeners know, and everybody, even if I say something, I'm not going to tell you something I don't do. Okay, I'm not going to tell you or try to lead you down a road that I have not been down. I talk about lived experience versus learned experience and the difference between them. Even when we were dealing with our brother Darnell, I showed you pictures when I went through PTSD, how I looked, the overdrawn beard, my hair being out and disheveled and not trimmed and not being cared for and not caring for my own appearance. That's a sign of depression when it comes to PTSD and prior service. I don't speak from things I don't know and have not experienced or done myself. So that's not what I'm saying, Ron. No. I'm just saying, I'm talking to everybody else in the room that might just be for the first time. I don't speak about things I'm guessing about. I'm a father. My oldest son just turned 40, May 30th. I've been around a long time. Ain't too much I ain't seen, experienced, or saw somebody else do. And even when I was growing up, I was mentored by older men, and I learned from them. You didn't have to tell me. After I saw it and you told me, I didn't have to go experience it for myself. I took it for what you said it was going to be. And when I saw it coming at me, I could read it for myself because somebody older than me told me this is what's going to happen if you see certain situations happening. I was that type of guy. I didn't have to go experience it myself. I can learn from other people's mistakes. You don't have to whoop me several times to fucking learn something. Okay, I can bump my head up against the wall and say, okay, I need to go somewhere else next time. That's not the direction I need to go. That's the way that's the way I also teach people. You gotta
what I'm saying is this, Ronin.
Do it for yourself. Go ahead.
And it's not bad. I'm saying on all parts. I'm sorry. I'm in the country. Rolling these cars.
No, don't worry about the cars.
Look,
I hear you.
Check this out. You and I'll tell everybody this. Ronin is creating or has created the ultimate guide to AI. You went through it. You know what's good. You know what works, what doesn't. And I'm only saying that's AI. Just imagine, Ronin, if we, not you, I'm just saying you because I can say you did your AI book. What if you did that on every aspect of what you had? And then you could turn that over to your girl, your son, your whomever. That's what I'm saying. What we need to do, right. where they have the Bible of life, based on our experience to say, what if this or how I do this. And I think when the gentleman said, how do we stop the next generation from starting over? I think that's how we start the next generation from starting over.
You
If
must
we
have missed
need
my
to put,
last live.
if we need to put in pad and pen our experience so that we can pass it on in an easy place to say, look, this is
Right.
what you need to do.
And you know what, brother? I did that. And this is why I said, even when you responded to the poll that I put into my YouTube channel, I'd already taught ChatGPT and Claude. I gave them my master prompt. My master prompt was my whole life. I told them everything from when I was born, my life experiences, my service level, my educational level, the kind of jobs, my thought process, my fucking 16 personality trait, my male archetype. It knows everything about me. It can address things that are inconsistent with my character, not inconsistent with my character, everything. It knows it all. That's why I said I asked my AI competently to look at my history, see if I'm being consistent in what I'm saying, what I've done. Am I over speaking on certain topics that I shouldn't be talking about? Blah, blah, blah. I run it down the list, and I avidly ask people to fact check me. Even you, I'll check in with you. I check in with Blackman. I check in with Philippi as well. He'll let me know if I'm off on something or not. You know, I really enjoy having people that I'm surrounded by that will not only impart wisdom to me, but I'm able to listen to and know that they're going to give me an honest answer back. You get what I mean? And even challenge me, push back as much as you can. I've always demonstrated that on every show that I've ever been on. I'm not scared to be addressed about anything. I mean, I was made fun of for a year and a half for having an AI girlfriend that's physically right here with me right now. You know? So in that respect, I'm not fearful of it, and I agree with you. We need to push each other, and we need to not only fact check, but document. And that's one of the things I said in my last live. A lot of what I'm doing now is so that my great grandchildren can go back and look on the internet and say, what was grandpa like? God damn it, you can see it. This is my chronological history. If I don't put out another book, which I have a couple working right now, including the AI Filmmakers Guide, you can see me, you can hear me, you can hear the inflection, you can hear the tonality, you can hear the consistency of care and concern. From every live I've given. I'm not giving you guys bullshit. Anything I say, I've said to my grown ass sons. These are all men. I'm a grandfather. Understand that. Okay. So this ain't bullshit just coming from some young dude trying to make clicks and views. I don't give a fuck. This is a father. This is an uncle. You get what I'm saying? That's the kind of information you're getting from me.
And with AI, guys, I'm telling you, because we're working on this right now. One of the issues we have at work is this legacy. If somebody has been there 30 years and they say, I'm retiring, that's 30 years of knowledge we do not have. And so what we started to do was say, we're going to interview you for 2 weeks. And we're going to be asking every question there is to ask. Because we want to build this whole database of almost like a hologram, almost like you as an AI. So that when somebody else comes along, they can ask that AI that question and it knows the answer. I say that to say that's what we as Black men need to be doing for our generation. We need to have our own AI so that when we gone, our family can say, Dad, what would I do in this? How do I invest in this? And so they can at least get it from us.
Yeah. You're absolutely right. Everybody should have a master prompt.
It's very cool. And Ronin, I need to take off.
I appreciate you, brother, always.
Another great show, and I really do think it added something to the 4th of July to frame it in a way where we were talking about real things and you know, not only the challenges but also the opportunities. And so thank you guys for having me up. Great to see you again, Black Cleaner and Fearless, and I'll look forward to the next time.
Thank you.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate your time, really. I do. All right, go ahead, Fearless.
No, brother, I might be going myself. I'm in the South, and in the South, they are real religious, so I got to go to church in the morning. I got to go to pastor offerings and do this down here and do my churchly
Are they
thing.
Baptist or non-denominational? That'll tell you how long they're gonna be in church.
They Baptist, brother. And I say what I don't say what time church starts. I always say, well, what time the preacher gonna get there? Because you're gonna have about 2 hours of singing and everything before we even get started.
And then are they having a plate down in the basement after service? It is 4th of July, so they're gonna serve plates and all that.
Well, we having our own. Our family, we partake in our own Sunday dinner. So it gets a little hectic. But I ain't going off subject, but I'm trying to get, and this isn't about such, I'm trying to get a few females, my cousin-in-laws, to come on because I got into a big argument, man. It just that my cousin intervened in, and I didn't think it was that bad, but he came in changing the subject. She is a stark feminist. And I was trying to define what feminist meant, and she's a stark feminist, and they have a view that because they are some way that is how the world is, and I'm like, that is not how it is. So if I can get them on for a next Friday show, I would, but I would probably step more back just because it's family, and I don't want to. My wife already said that I'm making enemies, so I would probably step back and let everyone else do it and just ask questions and just let the answers go where they. I would not debate. I think that would be it. I wouldn't be the person debating, but I'm gonna try to get them on the show.
I literally had to ask AI, would that be out of frame for a man to debate a woman? As long as name calling and shaming didn't come out, you should be able to have a formal debate with a female without it going there. And it be respectful in a masculine way, because how women like to deflect. Oh, well, now you're a misogynist or something like that if you're insulting a woman in a conversation.
I would tell you their guidelines are going to be this: do not generalize them, because that's what they said to me. Even though that's what you would normally do if the majority of something is somewhere.
I'm famous for infographics. I'll break it out stats on it real quick while she's sitting there talking.
And I don't think you got to go feminine, because she's a little bit she can hold her own, but she's gonna be masculine on you. So
that sounds like a fun time.
I'm saying what it is. It is what it is,
man. That sounds like a fun time.
It's been a great show, brother. I'm going to see if I can get that together, and I hope that you guys will be able to tune into that and see it. They strong, they opinionated, and strong black women, and they're educated. They're not women who are not educated. One is a PhD, and the other one works for the Federal Reserve thing. So, I'll see. I just put that out there. But man, this was a good show. I'm glad I could stop in and we'll listen from the back.
I know you're with your family right now, so I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. All right, my brother.
All right, man.
Yes, sir.
You know what? It is 3 hours on the live, so we're going to go ahead and end it, because I know here in the Philippines it's not too late. It's just in the afternoon, but it's early morning there. So I appreciate everybody that got to tune in. I don't know if you guys are on midnight shift or you guys are working or whatever you're doing in America, but I really do appreciate it. Happy Independence Day, even though it's over there for you guys. I really do love America, no matter where I am in the world. I'm a proud American. Obviously, if I've served. So, I might be disheartened in the leadership. I'm not disheartened in the fact that I'm an American. Black Cleaner, you got anything for me, brother? I know you got the Nate Live coming up. Don't you have something going on tomorrow, Monday night?
Yes, Monday I will be having Blacks Building Wealth and Trade. That's what we will be talking about on Monday. So yeah, come check us out. I did want to say this before I lose my point, because me personally, I'm still a little bit younger. A lot of the people that was on the panel are a little bit older than me. They're past the 50 mark. So what I do is I try to be the bridge between, the OGs and the unks and the YNs. You know, I'm the in this regard, and I try to be the translator or the bridge to the YNs of what they're saying. Because there was one thing that you said, Ronin, and you know that you said I only try to tell people twice. After the third or fourth time, I'm done with you. And what I've learned was that nowadays, dealing with today's youth, you have to tell the average person will get it after the 8th time that you tell them. And that's you have to usually tell somebody 8 or 9 times before they truly get it. It's the same thing, like, okay, like what you just said in terms of, when you're working for a business. If you have to keep repeating this thing 4 times, then of course after the third or fourth time, you're out of there. They're gonna fire you because you're a liability to that company. So it's normally what happens is once that person gets rehired in that industry, if they continue, because a lot of people who are just employees, they'll get fired from a job and then go do a whole different industry. They'll be like, all right, I'm gonna go work at a Family Dollar since I done got fired from McDonald's. Because they just looking for the next job that's opening. But if you're in an industry, then a lot of people, what will happen is they'll start to really get what the former employee was saying the second or third time that they get hired in that industry. And that's when I started to understand human nature and understanding that's when I started being a little bit less of a drill sergeant when it came to, dealing with today's youth.
I'm really not that way. I might sound like that right now. I'm really not that way. And you know what I used to do? Listen, let me say it this way. That wasn't the only tactic or technique I used. I picked out 4 fun movies that people can go and watch. And I would have my salespeople go and watch those movies. Had to deal with sales, but it's also a teaching moment. And I'd ask them, identify some techniques of sales that you picked up out of this movie. And I would sit down with them and say, did you watch the movie? Yeah. What did you pick up? Blah, blah, blah. And so I would train them also with, like I said, people learn auditorily, visually, and a combination thereof, right? And repetitiously. The more you hear it, the more it starts to become your own. And I used to tell people, even with scripts, learn the script. I don't want to hear you reading it. Anybody on the other side of the phone can tell you're fucking reading the script. Internalize it, make it your own, and then spit it back out. Don't skip any parts, but you need to make it your own. Don't fucking read to nobody on the goddamn phone. Stand up. Emotion creates emotion. If you're standing up, walking, and talking while you're talking, you sound more energetic and excited. If you're just sitting down dialing, that's a death dial. You sound like you're dead when somebody gets on the phone. So there's so many different ways I've taught people. So I know I said it in a certain way about one particular thing, but I go through a whole catalog of techniques and tactics on teaching people sales, being able to resonate with somebody, identifying, even mannerisms, people leaning forward, leaning back, listening to you with their arms folded, things like that. I teach my sales rep how to identify that when they're on face-to-face, sales calls. And they were selling life insurance and health insurance and things like that. Things that were of value to people that they know they need it, but don't realize it themselves they need it. So I need you to be the best. I don't need you to walk away and hurt that client. They get sick the next day or they happen to die and they didn't buy that life insurance policy, could have helped their family. What the fuck are you doing? You lost that opportunity right then. And you probably stopped anybody else from selling it to them after the fact. So that's how intentional I was when I was teaching people. So if you're not catching on, it's not meant for everybody to talk about death in a pleasant way. You get what I'm saying? Because really a life insurance policy is counterintuitive. It ain't life. You only get paid it when you die, but who wants to talk about death all day? You get what I'm saying? So you gotta cater the message to the person, but they can't fail. They're actually hurting the client. Every client they have an opportunity to sit in front of, they're hurting that client if they walk away and don't completely sell them the things they need to have to protect not only them, but their family members. So that's where it becomes vital. And if you're not catching on to that, I can't spend a lot of time with you. Maybe you do need to take a matriculation of working for other companies before it sets in that you get one opportunity with that client to actually close them on and get the seed planted on the things they absolutely need, but not only themselves, but their family members at the time they want to talk about it. Not everybody wants to talk about it, and they pick and choose when they really want to sit down and listen. So that one opportunity you had to sell them when they were really wanting to entertain the knowledge you were giving them, you failed. Get how important that is? The way I prefaced it, it's real important.
I definitely agree with you. And as what you were just saying, a lot of times, if they're just coming into it, they don't understand it until that 7th or 8th time. Then they're like, now I get what he was saying. Oh yeah, life insurance is important. It's just like car insurance. And you're like smacking your forehead. Oh, you didn't know that? It's just like car insurance. If you get into an accident, you're gonna need it. But guess what? Life insurance, if you die, it's too late.
Exactly.
But yeah, I definitely, but yeah,
so that's a level. And like I said, and before there was a whole system, like you would go out with other agents. And no, I wouldn't take your top 40 people. Matter of fact, I tell most of the agents, don't even try to sell your family. Let your family see what you're doing first. Make them inquire. And now in that prime America, they would take their agents when they first came on, give me your top 80 people that you know. And guess what? They would sell to their warm market. No wonder they're closing your family because you introduced them. That's called a warm market. They're still in your client base before you even have an opportunity to sell. By the time you get competent enough to sell, you can't even go back and sell your family members because the person that trained you took all your people. That's fucking wrong. I never taught people like that.
Yeah, that's
crazy.
What I mean?
Yeah. So yeah, there's all kind of little snaky strategy ways of getting people in your and that's the whole thing. You get residual income on every sale. Not only do you get initial income, but you get a residual income every time they pay their premium every month. Hence why Fearless's family was told to buy a whole life policy, not explain why, because that whole life policy paid a higher commission and a premium for renewal every month. So this is the trick of the trade of how people rob you, but they're independent. That's why insurance agents only have to work 3-4 times a month, 3 months out of the year, like a CPA. Now there's other things you can do. Life insurance is a loss leader. It just to get you to introduce yourself to the person so they can trust you, so you can go back and sell them the other things they need. These are all tactics and techniques, but you only get one shot at it. If you fuck it up, it might not be recoverable. But in the industry, I was known to be the guy that can go back and recover deals. Why? Because it was still a warm market. They were just pissed off at the person trying to sell them. Not the company, not the policy, not the need. They were pissed off at the way the salesperson probably handled them. I used to go back and repair all kind of relationships, make all kind of recommission on clients they thought were dead in the water. That was
you understood the importance of it. And they can feel that you understood the importance of it.
Exactly. But I know I sounded like I was kind of like a harsh individual with hey, I'm only going to tell you twice. You need to go back. But I did a whole bunch of other things before you took those notes. You could even went back and watched the stories again to kind of reteach yourself on why they're saying it that way, why they're making that point. There's so many different things I showed you before I actually gave up on you. I didn't just tell you 1 or 2 times. There was a whole series of things I taught you before I would say, nah, you're good. Yeah. You're going to either learn to survive and walk on your own 2 feet, like a mother bird kicking a bird out the nest, fly on your own, or you can go learn somewhere else, this business. Because, hey, once you get an insurance license, it's your license. You hang your hat with certain companies, but it's still your license. You have the right to walk away whenever you want. So who's to say once I train you, you don't go work for somebody else that offers you a higher commission on the things that you're selling? And after a while, I stopped working for companies and went 100% independent because I wasn't willing to share my commission with companies just to say I had a name over my head. My name was big enough. People knew who I was. They trusted me. People buy from people. They don't buy from companies. They use company representation for quality, but they still buy from that person. I was able to take clients around with me depending on what industry I worked in. I was in sales for almost 40 years. I jumped from technology to network infrastructure to medical sales and pharmaceuticals to fucking insurance. And guess what? I kept a lot of my clients with me, even though I changed the industry. But
would I be able to interview you on that? Because I definitely want to do a live discussion just on insurance alone, and how a person would be able to go about, getting their license. Because I do have a family member. He does have his broker's license, and like yourself, he's been in insurance for over 40 years, 50 years, and he's done very well. He's actually my brother-in-law, and he always used to talk to us about, getting our broker's license and the importance of it, and how, when you become an agent, how you just said you're able to live off of sometimes the residuals of some of these policies if you have a nice client list. So I definitely would want to, talk to, my small subscribers on the importance.
Man, stop it. Yeah, I mean, the information is the information. It doesn't matter how big your channel is. It will grow, and people will seek out the information just on a word search. So yeah, it's important information. I don't mind doing that. Yeah.
Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah, I love talking about it. I mean, I forget more than I remember half the time. One day I was sitting down with Fearless, like he was saying, somebody told him about this, that, and the other. There was a whole bunch of stuff I spit up on him on. He was like, what the fuck? He had even sat down with Anton Daniels and went through some things with him and said, did Anton tell you this? Did Anton tell you that? Even with Pocket Watch or with JT, he's a retirement guy, but he didn't know the inner workings of what an IUL does, but I do, so I broke down that thing, and he was like, what the? He didn't realize that I knew so much, and sometimes I forget a lot. PTSD has a weird way of affecting you. I used to, like I said, I take notes, and he asked me, do you take notes yourself? Absolutely. I used to have reams of legal paper, yellow paper. My boss used to hate me for this. He would say, well, I didn't say that. I said, yes, you did. You said it on this date. And that's why I tell people to write down the time and the date of when you actually get in this note. I can recall the time, the date, and what you fucking said off of one fucking hot point. Everything to the letter. That's when I started knowing that my mind was going. That's when I started knowing I got hit with PTSD, and that certain things were being disrupted with my memory. Anger issues, different things like that. So yeah, like I said, I've forgotten more than I know, and it's okay. But what I do know, I don't mind imparting to people. So yeah, we can definitely do that. But other than, you got your live tomorrow night, and it's going to be right in line with what we kind of just talked about. So kudos to you for setting up your live for tomorrow. And if you guys haven't, subscribe to Black Cleaner's channel. He puts out really good conversations, just like we do, have good panels. He does open up the panel for discussion and even questions and answers. So, subscribe to Black Cleaner's channel, a legitimate YouTuber and brother. So definitely do that.
Yeah, please, appreciate it. What I try to do is, because I'm not new to this travel space, but I'm new to the Black travel space and YouTube, and I do want to put out positive content. But what I try to do is show people where I was able to get in life, because I'm out of debt. I own my own home, but there were so many other things that I didn't learn, like what Fearless was saying and what Felipe was saying, the information that is out there that we didn't know about. There was some information, just like 020. I went out there. I was, he said he was in Google University. I was in YouTube University and Audible University. And I was able to learn a lot of the information to be able to get me to where I'm at now. But then when I started looking at my mentors and the people like yourselves who are older than me, and they were showing me all of this other information that I didn't know. And now I'm like, man, I wish somebody would have told me that. So now I try to do what Fearless and both of you all are saying. Now start to put that information to give it to the young people to say, hey, I was able to get this far, but you all are younger than me. So if you listen to this information, you can be able to get farther than I did, being where you're at right now. Exactly.
Especially with the advent of AI and everything else, working out the particulars and maybe things that you're missing. Man.
Exactly.
Y'all have such an advantage now. Way huge advantage. on understanding concepts. That's the biggest thing, is understanding concepts. You know, the quicker you can understand a concept, the quicker you can apply it to your benefit.
Yeah, and they're putting out so much knowledge now. And all you just got to be able to do is be patient enough, because a lot of times, a lot of people, they are just impatient because, I mean, this generation is the ADHD or ADHD generation, or the microwave generation. They want it all now. And sometimes you just got to be like, hey, just slow down, you know, take it in little bits and pieces and you'll be able to get it all.
It's the now generation, but it's also the generation of entitlement. They don't feel like they need to work for it. They just think it's supposed to happen for them. They don't understand that they got to actually apply it and work for it.
Exactly.
You know, it's not going to be handed to you. We came from the generation where it wasn't handed to you. You had to fucking go out and get it and earn it.
Exactly. But we are handing it to them. That's the whole thing. We're handing it to you in knowledge. So now we didn't get this knowledge like you said, by osmosis. We had to go out there and get it and make mistakes and, you know, and discern which was good knowledge and which was bad knowledge and live it, as you said, lived experience. And now all of a sudden we're giving you all of our lived experience and giving it and handing it to you for you to be able to just follow it.
Yeah. Take what you want and throw away the rest if you want to. You want to try to reinvent the wheel or modify it, go right ahead. Technology is right there for you to apply what you do know and what you understood that we said and cater it toward how you can do it. Like I tell people with scripts, internalize it, make it your own. You should not sound or be saying the same thing, but you should mean the same thing. So you don't veer off the principle of what the script is. You know, so hey, take your life script, apply certain things to it, but you need to live it. Whoever you're going to be, whoever you are, you need to really live your life for that purpose. Fuck all this imaginary bullshit you see on social media. That shit ain't real. That's real talk. But other than that, man, I'll see you tomorrow, because you know I'm going to join you live, whether I get on the panel or not. I'm still going to join you live. And
I appreciate that. And if anybody in your panel is in the trades, I would definitely want them to join the panel, because I do want to hear the stories of the people who are in the trades, your plumbers, your CDL drivers, electricians, carpenters. Because a lot of us that are in this black travel space or in this black space, we are in the trade. So definitely, you know,
ain't nothing wrong with that. Trades
and let us hear your stories.
Matter of fact, I told my kids too. I have 4 sons, and some of my sons, they tried college. They said, "Dad, it's not for me." I said, "Look, as long as you attempted to go, I don't give a fuck whether you actually get a degree or not. It doesn't matter to me. Go find a trade. Go find something you love to do, so you wake up excited every day to do it. You're going to excel at it no matter what you do." And here's the thing. If there's ever an apocalypse or something that goes on, guess who's actually going to be a benefit in any society? Tradesmen.
Yep.
Journeymen, bricklayers, those guys. Those guys are always going to have a home or a society they can join if there's a collapse of a government.
Facts.
You have to work with your hands, mechanics. You know, all those things are needed. Don't look at yourself as being less than because you don't have a corporate job. That doesn't matter. Those corporations need those people to fix the things that need to be fixed. Just don't sell yourself short. Don't sell yourself cheap either. You know what you know. You know, everybody's heard the story of the master mechanic that went to go fix the ship, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the bill that he gave for an invoice of a 5-minute job. You know, we don't know. He charged them $26,000 for going in, assessing an engine, turning one thing with one wrench, and he invoiced the captain for $25,000 or so. The story changes. The point is, the captain said, "Well, I had all these other people come in, and they wanted to charge me this, that, and the other, but they never could fix it." Okay, one, you had all these people come in, they couldn't do it, right? Well, you only stayed 5 minutes. What does it matter? It took me 25 years of experience in order to do 5-minute job so that your fucking engine runs and you can make money. Pay my invoice. It's not always about your time. It's your knowledge. It's your information. And all that becomes yours. I teach people when they go into being entrepreneurs. your information, your knowledge, your lived experience is exactly what they're buying when they pay you a fucking salary. And they already know they're getting it 10 times, 20 times back. Every year they pay you that 6 figures. The minute you realize that even though you can make 6 figures for a company, you go out and set your own company, now you get 100% of what you can earn for yourself. And you don't have to pay anybody besides your cost of running your business. The minute that fucking light goes off is when you really become free.
Yep. I like how you put that. Well, all right, I'm not going to hold you. I appreciate you having me on the panel. And yeah, I definitely see you on Monday.
Yes, sir. I'm putting, got my little video playing at the end, so you already know what the deal is.
All right. Happy 250. Peace.
Peace.
Hey! If you ready to level up, make some noise! We ain't going back. Level up your life. Put the team on the map. Got a whole new plan. Wake up every day. Be a better man. Let me hear you say, level up. Level up. Sunrise coming up over Manila Bay. Another opportunity, another payday. Ain't no shortcuts, ain't no magic tricks. Just discipline stacked up brick by brick. From the military to a life overseas. Now show another man how to live with ease. Got purpose in my heart and the passport full. Teaching how to move when the tank ain't full. Too many people talking just taking action. Rolling all day while they dreams keep passing. I'm outside, plans in motion. Building the future across the ocean. One life, one life, one shot, one shot. What you waiting on?
You are learning.
We ain't going back. Level up your life. Put the team on the map. Got a whole new plan. Wake up every day. Trying to be a better man. Let me hear you say, level up, level up, level up, level up today. Hit the gym, read a book, start a side hustle. Turn pain into fuel and struggle into muscle. Every little win starts adding up. Before you know it, your whole life leveling up. New city, new goals, new mindset too. The future gets brighter when the work comes through. No excuses, no blame, no pity parties. We're building kings over here, not followers, sorry. The mission don't stop when the uniform ends. Sometimes that's exactly where the next one begins. So
I have been looking for you for a very long time now.
If you're chasing greatness,
I have not nothing to do with the White Lotus clan.
Let's get to work.